So here we are on the first page of $100 recon course, and if you are watching this video, this must mean that you have bought this. So in this particular course, you'll be learning a lot about information gathering and all those stuffs. But before starting this, I would like to give you a few instructions. Have a pen and paper, or maybe you are having Notepad, Sublime, Obsidian, Notion, whatever you are using. Open it and pause this screen right now and write what recon or what information gathering steps you used till now. So let's start the contents. So first of all, who am I? So I'm Vedic Pandya Abhagant and a cybersecurity enthusiast. I'm building the cybersecurity at tech-based platform. You can check out our other courses too. I'm being a cybersecurity trainer from the past 2 years, doing bug bounties from around 4 years now, along with the YouTube channel Linux by Viku. You can check out that channel here. Sharing daily posts on Twitter. We are on all courses, Instagrams, all the social medias are here. But come on, we don't need that. We are here to get the information. So there are multiple steps in gathering information, but rather than that, we have to take a look on hundreds of more things, like what mindset we can build, what's the checklist, what are the steps we need, and definitely mark my words, all these steps may have some changes based on the target. It's not same for every target. So definitely we'll be taking a look onto that. But before that, we are having few things that we have to take a look on. So let's take a look on what contents we are having. The checklist, mindset, how to use target, acquisition, subdomain enumeration, DNS enumeration, who is recon, source identification, technology stack, SSL, TLS configuration, network scanning, open ports, portals, directory file enumeration, third party services, WAF misconfigs, CDN. By the way, a lot of people are not having that understanding the difference between CDN and WAF. Alive subdomains, IP recon, and mastery, NSE, automated recon tools that I'll be providing to you. ASN recon, Netcraft, reverse domain check, web-based recon, Google, GitHub, Shodan, Zoom dockings, spidering, brute forcing, file enumeration, endpoint, JS recon, hidden information record like hidden information finding, parameter discovery, token handling, fuzzing, content discovery, information leaks, token leaks, backup, source code, API, database, third party, logs, internal servers, leaks, head analysis, Chrome extensions, recursion analysis, sanitization checks, Bob extensions, Bob recon, using website for recon, visual recon, manual observation, behavioral analysis, understanding flow, web architecture based recon, correct way to use tools, how to find information for finding bugs, how to earn conclusion, and there we go. But it is having a lot of things like I hope every one of you know what is Burp Suite. But in the end, not everyone knows that how to use the Burp Suite for everything. Like you might have heard that only tool you need is Burp Suite, but we don't know how to do it. Burp Suite can find bugs on its own if you know how to use it properly. So let's dive into the courses. So after who am I, we'll be learning from the particular checklist that I have made here. So first of all, let me open a checklist. It will be provided to you in the ending of the course. So make sure to take a look onto that. The name is $100 game plan. It is having all the questions that I have to answer that I got from the internet overall my experience based. So first thing is what is a checklist? So whatever checklist means to you, what it means for me. So first of all, by the way, this course is completely based on my opinions that what I think about a specific word and how will I schedule it or how will it make the flow. And I'll also tell you how you can make yours too. So a checklist for me is something like you can have a website. Like let me show you what a checklist means to me. So here I'm having my browser. So let's suppose I'm having a website which is tesla.com, a very cool looking website with the URL, with whatever the function it's having. The URL is not something that we can mention, but overall, inventory, demo drives, multiple things. So, what a checklist would be here. So, I might be having a checklist to find the information from the technologies, checking all the third party services, checking all the functionalities out there. So, Do you have to make a checklist? Definitely. And why you need a checklist? So a checklist would be something like this. Like suppose it's your target here, tesla.com, and is sub.tesla.com, and now you might be having something like, the OAuth is there. Okay, I need to pen test that. If you found something in OAuth like, okay, this one is suspicious, redirect URI, you can just type it there. Then OAuth, what you have to test, you might have to test for the let's suppose footer. There's something in the footer or maybe in the profile. Now profile is not a checklist indeed. In profile there might be file uploads, there might be address, there might be a lot of things on there. So checklist should look like, for me, yeah, it looks like this. And I usually make a checklist based on what I am hunting on. Now, why do we need a checklist? So we need a checklist because whenever we are hunting on any program, let's suppose any program, it is not specified that we have to use, okay, this or that. Any program, we usually have a issue that whenever we are going on a functionality, suppose I'm testing OAuth, and I got few not like I haven't tested everything out there, but I have tested like three or four things. Then we shift to the another functionality which is way different than it. Even though it's out of the flow, afterwards you have to take a look on profile completion. No, you're directly jumping onto the dashboard. So to avoid that sort of distraction, that jumping on from one to there, it is not going to be useful for you. Then one more point is there why we need to have a checklist. There is one more issue that when we are hunting on a program, we just test one, two, or three things, and then we'll be like, okay, this is secure. No, we need to test all the things out there. So this is the main two reasons that you have to need a checklist. Do I have to have a checklist? Yes, you need a checklist. How? Create according to the website. How do we have to follow one? Definitely checklist. If you are making one, you have to follow one. But if I am providing a checklist that you have to follow, there is no checklist in my opinion. Just go to the website, have a look onto that, look on the functionalities on the based of flow. There is only one checklist that I follow is go to the website and there is already a checklist which is a flow. If you're asking about creating an account, create an account, then okay, pen test or test all the things on the creating account. Then go to the account section, test all those things out there. Then go to each parameter one by one, test all of them. So the checklist there is simple. Just go one by one to the things and then you'll be good and then you'll be good to go. Then what is a mindset to a bug hunter? So that is some sort of theoretical answers in my opinion. So what is a mindset to you? First of all, let me know about that. Uh, Mindset means multiple things. Like I would like to explain this in a very brief manner. But yeah, what mindset do you need? So there might be few things you guys are facing like burnout in bug bounties, bored of duplicates, bored of informational. You are not getting enough bounties, not able to get the specific targets. Okay, so you might be having this much issues. You might be having pressure of getting a job and all those things. But overall, what's the mindset for a bug hunter or a security researcher? So the mindset you need here is simple, but not easy, definitely. So what mindset you need? You need to continuously look for things. Don't stop learning. Now that's easy to say that okay, you don't need to stop. We know that, but what's the difference? So the difference is simple. Whenever you're trying to pen test the functions, right? Suppose you're trying for a GraphQL, learn to create it. The best mindset for bug hunter to learn is learn to create things that you are working on. You are stuck with Jira or Grafana, try to create one. Try to do development with them. How to do development? You're not in enough time. At least go and complete a crash course around 1 or 1.5 hours. That is not gonna be a big thing in words, but after all, when you know how to create thing, at least the intermediate level of idea, you can get to learn hundreds of things. Then, do we have to follow anyone's mindset? No. Create your own. Like there is nothing called you can follow anyone's mindset. Just don't follow anyone when it comes to learning. Okay, that guy is going for that, or that guy is having this type of checklist. Okay, he's testing this functionality first. Don't follow anyone, even me. Create your own. So in the end, you will learn how to like what method are useful for you, not someone else. Then how to choose target? Now that's a very curious questions, I guess, because a lot of people are having a issue that how can I choose my target. So how to choose targets? That's a very interesting topic. So how to choose target? This might look something like this. So you don't choose target based on few things. You choose target based on multiple things. I'm just naming the main six here. So function, you need a lot of functions. When all the like look, it is not something like you need one or two or three things out there. The more number of these things are there, like all these functions here, all these options here, the more number of options are there, it's a good one. Suppose you are having five targets here. Suppose you are having five targets here. Let's say I'm having Tesla.com or FetLife, right? I'm having this two one. So let's compare them. Which one is a better target? So function wise, Tesla is having, I will give it. Let's take a look on it first of all. Okay, Tesla is good, having account creation feature, all those things. But if you know FetLife is something like OnlyFans, so yeah, it is having more functionalities. So I will give Tesla a zero, FetLife a one. Then wildcards. Yeah, Tesla is a wild card. FetLife is also a wild card. I'll give both of them one. IP ranges. I'm not sure about Tesla gives the IP ranges or not, but FetLife do give it. So let's make it 1-1. So make it a draw. So I'm not mentioning it. Attack surface. Both of them are having great attack surface. Acquisitions. Yeah, Tesla might be having a lot of acquisitions. Same goes to FetLife. And if you are having any pre-ones on the out of scope, you can still get a bounty. So still making a draw, not mentioning anything here. And policy, I'll say I'll give plus one to FetLife for policy because I have seen the policy got good bounties from it. So definitely you should consider FetLife over Tesla. So this is the comparison you can have if you're having multiple targets in your head but unable to do or choose any one of them. Now, what is a function? Like account creations, maybe it can be anything, not a specific one. It can be anything. If you're asking about what is a function, then wildcard definitely. I hope you all know about wildcard domains or wildcard subdomains like this, like this. Then the range, IP range, right? I'm just mentioning it 0/24 or whatever you can have. Something like this. Now, if there is a IP range, you're having a gold mine. Because we're having a lot of live content remaining, I'll show you why IP range is a gold mine. Attack surface. Now it can be more functionality, more subdomains, more range, more portals. That's the attack surface. Acquisitions. So I need to explain this thing. So how to find acquisition? Suppose what is acquisition? When a company acquires something, that's acquisition. So let me show you. Let me open two things here. Crunchbase and a company. So I'm opening a company like Google acquisitions. So it is giving me a list of all the Google companies. Now you can't simply choose anyone from here and hunt on them. No, it doesn't work like that. Right? You need to find one of them and properly look if the companies still own the particular asset. Suppose I'm talking Simplify. If I go to Google, Simplify, okay, Google acquires Simplify, it's a news. But we have to check if Google still owns the Simplify or not. So I'm just typing Simplify here and we are having a single company. And yeah, it is still acquired by Google. But there are multiple companies that are not even acquired by Google. But yeah, Wikipedia shows it. And one more thing, if you're hunting on a company like Google and all those stuffs, take a look on the sixth tab, which is policy. Because Google says that if you're having any bug on the company that we have acquired within 6 months, you won't be eligible for a reward. So make sure you take a look on them. Then acquisition, we can find it using this. We can even go for any company here. Like you can go for Google and take a look on all the acquired companies here, like all the acquisitions, right? You can see the 262 acquisitions. So Google owns all these things, but yeah, we got this sort of things here, the premium issues. But I hope you understand what Google owns. Google owns where are all the acquisitions? Yeah. No, not investments. We need acquisitions, a proper list of acquisitions. We go to Google, then the acquisition list, company finance series, or here are all the acquisitions that we can take a look on. All right. And this is the way you can find acquisition of a company. Right now, let's go once again. Uh, Crunchbase. You can even try for Meta, all those companies. Let's say BMW. I don't know who acquires this or whatever it is. Okay, it shows nothing out there. Let's go for a very very famous company out there. Just go with Tesla. There's no big deal out there. Tesla Motors. Okay, now Tesla is having 10 acquisitions. Cool. Tesla owns Viperion, Spring Power, ATW Automation, Hyper Automation, Deep Scale, Solar City, Graham Engineering, Prebix. So there's a lot of companies. Now, if we were hunting on a program like Tesla, we might be trying on just Tesla.com or TeslaMotors.com, but these can be a good resource. Not everyone is doing that. So make sure take a look on that. Next thing, acquisitions. We just saw that how to find them. Now, there's two things of a platform or response time. So I'm gonna say a few things here. Platform matters or not. Suppose you are saying Akamai is good, Bugcrowd is good, or Integrity is good, yes, Swag is good. Come on, if it pays, it's good. This is what I believe. If it is paying you, that's good. There is no comparison in that. And as you said, response time does matter. So response time really matters. If you're hunting on a responsible disclosure, always have a look on their policies. If I just go to Chrome here in URL, responsible disclosure reward. Now I will be like opening three here. I have compared all of them based on this, and then you just take a look on the response time. You can just type response. So there is nothing called days or hours here. Okay, no worries. Let me type response. So I don't think there's also response available here. Let's take a look on response. So no, there's also nothing mentioned here. But definitely, when you're looking for it, have a look on the response times because yeah, they matter. I'm still having a lot of reports, and there's a big issue I would like to mention. I was hunting on few programs. According to their policies, I would be replaced. I would be replied within few hours. Like, let me show you. I can show the program right now. They're still vulnerable to the P1s, but they were really, I felt like scam on that point. But you can do multiple things. When I tried to post or like submitted a report, it says that yeah, you will be responded within 7 business days, and it's been a year now. So I just tried to make a tweet and got the bounty, but still that works. Or you can just simply message the founder, email the founder simply, or any just text anyone on the LinkedIn. Then how to find good programs? Use docking and use platforms properly. If there is a private invite, I will prefer that. So how can you use, like, a platform is not a issue. This platform can be a good thing, but if you know how to behave on it. If you're a hacker one, spend time on a program, understand the program in a good way. Don't be like shuffling the program 5 times a week. Stick to a program for the 5 weeks. Be the guy. And usually people don't stick to a program is like nothing to do on that. I have tried everything because you are not able to explore all the attack surface there. So we'll be taking a look on how to find attack surface out there. Then subdomains. So there's multiple things. What method do I use? So I preferably using Subfinder with all the API keys. That's the my preferred method. After all, you can use all these tools, and I'll be mentioning a list of links for the tools users because I'm not gonna explain a tool for like 60 minutes here if I'm already having the video out there. So you can use all these tools, but before using the tools, you need to understand one more thing, which is levels of subdomain. So what is the level of subdomain? It's a way complex thing. So subdomain levels is something like, when you are having a domain, it is like this. It is something like this. Um, domain.com. Then what is subdomain? Sub.domain.com. Cool. What is levels of sub.subdomain? It is the second level subdomains on that. Then we are having multiple things on it. Like second level, we can go for the third one, like sub.sub.sub.domain.com. So what does it mean? What does it mean to you? It's third level of subdomain. So we can do these things to find levels of subdomain because this is what we are looking for. All right. So now how to find subdomains? So we'll be taking a look using all these things. So let me tell you what's the BBot. It's from Black Lantern Security. It's a completely based on, it uses multiple sources to get the subdomains. You all know about AMA, Seattle.sh. It is gathering from certificates. Source codes. Now, why am I writing source code here? So definitely, source code can be a big source of subdomains. Then NOCPy, it's from brute forcing the subdomains. I'll tell you. But first of all, what is brute forcing a subdomain? So you might get this type of subdomains, but when it comes to some subdomains that are not actually live, so how will you find subdomains from brute forcing? So you use a word list. You are going to use a word list to brute force a subdomain. Now, how it works? Like a try one dot domain.com. If it says something like not found, it's okay. If it gives you 200, okay, then yeah, you will get a valid subdomain using brute forcing. So that's the thing. Now, Subfinder account. And by the way, Subfinder is way efficient if you use all the API keys. Subdominizer, that's a cool tool. Alt DNS, definitely it's using DNS for it. And Security Trails API. So usually what Subfinder or all these tools can't do, this particular API tools can do. So this API is having a format. Let me show you. Key trails subdomain finder.py file. Right, so I don't know the exact name, but definitely it's somewhere here. Securitytrails.py GitHub. Yeah, okay, securitytrails.py. Here is the particular file. You just need to configure your API key and that's cool. It's simple as that. Even if you go to the particular README file, you just go to the home page. You just need to configure the API key and that's good. That's all. But yeah, you will get limits. If you have a premium, that's cool. That would be way useful. Then there is a new tool known as Bevigil by CloudSec. This one is also great. We'll be taking a look onto it in the further sessions. So let's try to find subdomains on it. Look, the more subdomains you will find, the more results you will get. Hidden subdomains, yeah, you will get through APIs or brute forcing, definitely. Now, sources of subdomain, I just saw you can find it from source code or maybe from the other files like GS files. So let's use these tools. Okay. Let me go to terminal. I have made a folder named terminal 100. Yeah, it's having nothing, so we'll be doing information gathering on my own. So let's try Bbot. You can simply use Bbot like this, but I'm not having it right now. But I've attached a whole video in Bbot just below this video. So you can use Amas too. Like if you don't know Amas, this is Amas. This is MS. You can simply use Amas enumeration hyphen H. So you will get the enumeration menu here. So I can simply use hyphen D for um, this cyberboy.com. Now, what type of attack I want to do, passive or active, I can just give it here. Right. So passive is default. Now we need to do active. Attempt zone transfer certificate and all those things. So let me just do um hyphen active. I guess hyphen active is the one right command. Cool. Now IP, this one is the right command. I'm just trying to get the output here. But tell that the tool usage is not till here, right? You need to configure every tool, everything. You have to read the help menu. A lot of people simply do subpointer hyphen D and hyphen O. Come on, that's not how you do the reconnaissance. Every other guys do wanna do that. So you need to do a lot of things here, right? It can completely depends to you, right? So if you just take a look on here, I'll just show you. So I'm just trying to remove this command. Right? It found like few things here, like the uh, NX records and all those things. We don't need that right now, but yeah, that's important. So you can do few more things. ASN numbers, right? So I can just simply go with hyphen ASN. Cool. Okay, you got the hyphen ASN. If you want to, then we can go for part two of blacklisted subdomains. If you're having subdomains that are not enabled or you don't have to do anything about them, you can simply give the hyphen this command where it is blacklist. Here it is. Then part to providing blacklisted subdomains. Yeah, we do usually do that. Then brute forcing after searches. Yeah, we can simply execute them. If you're having a VPS, that's a good one. Then we can also provide CIDRs, config strings, right? Part to YAML configuration if you want to add something. Now, how we will add a configuration file here, which is a YAML file. Let's take a look on that. So we'll just open this link. Now, this is the configuration file. We got this IPs, domains, CIDRs, all these things. So suppose you are having a good target, which is a very, very wide scope. You use AMS for in-depth recognitions, right? You can use word list, right? This is how you use it. So AMAS tutorial, you can just take a look on this tutorial, but we are here on the video, so we don't have to take a look on that. Then you can add a few more things like maybe you want to do some sort of additional things. Like you hit the colors, you can use no colors. Recursive brute forcing, you don't want to do it. Subdomain then we can go for the maximum depth. Like this might be set by default, but we need to change it. Then this one is good, hyphen log, part to the log file where error will be written. You can give it. All available data sources, we can use the hyphen list. So in short, it's a good one. And I'm just using it simple as that, but you need to do it using the config.yaml because many programs give you many things. So have a good look onto that. Then let's wait for it. So here our AMAS has stopped working. I mean, it's finished here. So you guys can see all the details here. We got the ranges, we got the DNS data, all those things. But till that, is not enough. We got all these tools to take a look on. So it would be very long to take a look on, and we are gonna do that. So next thing is crt.sh. So here I have installed few tools here, as you guys can see, crt.sh. So I'll just do crt. I hope it's a folder. Yeah, it's a folder then. So we got crt.sh. So let's try to run bash crt.sh -h. So we got two things: search domain or search organization. So I just want to do a search domain. So I got few domains here. You guys can see with the same certificates. Now that's a simple one, but for bigger organizations, it can help. If I just type here, um, paytm.com. Yeah, so I have got a good numbers of these subdomains, and it's completely from the certificates, and that's sort of cool. Communications Ltd. We got someone's name. Anyway, that's cool. We have done the same for the cyber.com, right? We got one more tool, which is NockPy. So, as I said, NockPy uses brute forcing method, but how does it work? So, I'm using NockPy, but before that, let me just show you the word list. This word list is having this much things, like it's a very small word list. The resources and blog is the real one. So let's take a look on. So I'm just gonna do Python 3 NockPy -h for help menu easily. So let's take a look on the help menu. So we can do a lot of things. We can ignore IP addresses. We can use no HTTP code. We want remote word list, right? Local word list ignorations, all those things. So we use just what we need. So I'm just gonna demonstrate you how does it work, so you can try it on your own. So my domain is the cyberboy.com. And my word list is www. So as I have not included any of the API keys, it was just gonna do like this. It's showing me errors in my plugins, and that's cool. I know. So as you can see that we got the blog and resources on the app as they are from brute forcing, and we got remaining ones, the learn courses, all these things. But if we add a few more that is not easily detectable there, like let's suppose, okay, all of them are detected here, but few of the tools are not actually detecting it. So I'll show you them as we are having the security trails. We got the security trails here. Let's suppose that's not my company, so we are gonna do something like that. I want all the subdomains there. 21 subdomains. Damn, it shows that. So I'm having webmail.cyberboy.com, shop.cyberboy.com. So let me add these two in that temporary word list. So you can understand that yeah, it's gonna work on the word list. So what was our other one? Admin, webmail, webmail. Let me finish it. Now let me run this one again. And let's see if the both subdomains are easily accessible, we can do that. Now, by the way, till it is doing its work, let me show you that this particular API, the security trails, this is one of the best in my opinion, because whenever I use this particular tool or the API, it is worth buying premium of it, because definitely it is going to do some sort of things that are easily ignorable. That we are using hundreds of tools for finding subdomains, and most of the time the output of my 15 tools and this single API are the same. So I think that's the worth watching and using it. So the webmail is accessible, admin is not accessible as admin was created internally. But from this, you got it. Now we got one more tool, just Subfinder. It is easily a very common tool, right? but this is way useful tool. You can simply configure your API keys here. I have configured mine, so I'm not gonna be like exposing them, but still let me show you how to use this tool. So here I am on subfinder -h for help menu. I hope you are able to understand what is a help menu. So for just the -d domain, let me give the cyberbar.com, and I want to use Shodan to find it. So I will just use -s and type Shodan. So it will use Shodan to find all the subdomains. So Shodan is found 6. That's cool. Now I want virus total to do it. Virus total got me 3 subdomains. That's really nice. Two of them are common. All of them are common. So how will you find it? You can simply do -d, the cyberboy. Okay, cyberboy.com. Let's see how many we are getting here. So we got 8 subdomains here. That's still nice. But how many security trails give us? 21. We are not getting all of them. So that's the reason you need to use all the tools. Here are the sources, filters, rate limiting limits, update, output, configurations, debugs. You can do all these things. In short, that's a good one. So make some, get some time, have a look on this. Now, now, what we can do? You got few more things, source code. So definitely you can make your own script for it or simply check it manually. NockPy, we just saw that. Subfinder, we are done with that. Aquatone subdominizer and Alt DNS. Let me show you what these tools are. So among these three tools, Alt DNS is one of my favorite because it is gonna use alterations to find domains that are internally redirected. Now, what do I mean? Let's take a look. But before that, Aquatone. I hope that every one of you have seen, heard about Aquatone. Aquatone GitHub, a tool for domain flyovers. So it's archived, so only read, no risk. So it's a tool for visual expansion of websites across a large amount of hosts and convenient for gaining an overview of HTTP-based attack surfaces. So it's simple. Installation is very simple. You can get this Aquatone for your own device. Come unzip and install it according to you. You can just simply do it according to yourself. Now this is the command line Aquatone data. You can simply give the Aquatone data like this. And what output will you get? This will open on a browser that collects a screenshot of all the response headers clustered by similarly. But rather than Aquatone, you know what would I use? I would have used Eyewitness. Eyewitness, oh come on, we're not watching movie. Eyewitness. It's the same one, but having a more efficiency in my opinion. Because I usually use Eyewitness or Go Witness rather than the Aquatone. So we'll have a deeper look on the Eyewitness, but not now. Then we got the subdominizer. Let me show you what it is. Subdominizer. This is not the actual one I want to take a look on. Okay, yeah. Subdominizer. We want subdominizer, not domain. Subdomainer, whatever it is. So subdominizer, it can find hidden subdomains and secrets, S3 buckets, Cloudflare URL, many more. It can do, work of few tools in its own. So it's simple to install, right? .py and requirement.txt. You know what to do then. Simply install it, install the requirements, and good. You are good to go. Now it also supports cloud services, like what are the cloud services going on and all these things. Now, how does this work? Simple as that. .py and -u. You can get all the URLs here successfully, easily. It is not that much of configuration guy here, but if you want to, you can do it. One more. It is having few more things, right? Maybe secrets possible. You want to find some secrets, but yeah, it might be false positives. So yeah, you can get it. So technically, it can do a little bit of automation that can give you some sort of internal files, maybe a lot of details that you really want to look for. Then I would like to give the Subdominizer and Alt DNS these two tools for yourself to try it on. Alt DNS, that's a easy one. So it generates permutation and tries to collect internal hosts like this. So it is hidden because it might contain a lot of sensitive information. And there is a docs link I would like to take a look on. Wait a minute. Here is a link of a documents. So there is a documentation of how to use this tool. And as you can see, we can get few classified details using it. Let me just have a look on the image. Look, by DNS brute forcing, you can get this type of alteration which can contain internal links, and that might help in a very good conditions. By the way, in the end of this video, we will see what to do with all the information, and that's the reason I have made these notes. So stay tuned. And last but not least, we got Alt DNS. I like the security trails. We just saw security trails. Now our option is to do one thing, which is security trails dot py, and we got this. That's a Python file. Just add your API key here. It's a CLI version of security trails. You can simply find subdomain. Simple as that. So now you know at least 10 ways of finding subdomains. Now that's a lot of subdomains, right? Now we know levels of subdomains. Now what to do? A lot of people find hundreds of subdomains using multiple tools, but they don't take a look on them. Before going into the app.domain.com or the main functioning domain, always have a look on these things, because all the subdomains are not useless, right? Everything there is work like useful. You can find brute forcing, you can do a lot of things onto them. Okay, so we are having subdomains. We just know that, right? How to find subdomain and just sort them out. Now, it's not just about the target. We need to learn more about it. So, what we are having here is very simple. Here we are having few files, Tesla subdomains and the cyberboy subdomains.txt. So, we are having two txt files. Now, we need to gather more information about them. So, what we will do, let's take a look on the checklist. So, here we are having a lot of things here, but now we are on the DNS enumeration, right? We know hidden source, hidden subdomains, a source of subdomains. By the way, you can get the hidden subdomains from source codes or maybe by brute forcing them. Or you can use the alteration method, which is the alt DNS tool here. Now, DNS enumeration. So, what is DNS domain name server? Now, it's the act of detecting and enumerating all subdomains possible, all DNS records from a domain name, right? And these include host name, DNS records, record types, and multiple things. So, how much information we are looking on? That's the main matter here. So, if I just open a random thing, which is, let me open cat Tesla subdomains. I'll just click on any of them or just select any of them, and we can use these tools here. So, let me just click on the let's say dig. Right, we will try the dig command here. So, we are gonna dig this server. Now we got its C names, right? Multiple things. So, what information we are having? The IPs, right? As I mentioned here, DNS record types, TTL, IPs, all these things. And for the main thing, you can also use the Nmap or DNS recon tools for it, because this is going to give you results. Definitely, they will give you results, but not the exact ones you are looking for. And as I mentioned, Nmap here, this is the NSC. We will use NSC in the upcoming ones, so stay tuned for this option. But for now, we can also use the host ones. It's completely dependent how much information we are looking for. If I just type host and paste it, okay, it's just gave me nothing here. If we use Nmap, we will get multiple things. But for this one, I will say DNS Recon is the best tool for this thing. DNS Recon. DNS dumpster is also very helpful for it. So what's my domain? Tesla.com. So it is giving me search results for Tesla.com. You guys can see the DNS servers here. And here are a few options. If we take a look on the small icons, there is a lot of things in these icons. Let me just click a look on this header from the IP address active. Let's take a look on this. What we are getting information there. By the way, if we have seen in the first video, we have seen that we are able to get we have to do the header analysis out there. So we will definitely take a look on that. Now we are having DNS Recon here. It's a powerful tool. Definitely we know that. That's why we're gonna use it. So how to install DNS Recon? Git clone this. It's simple as that. So let's try the DNS Recon too. So let me go to the tools folder. Let's do the git clone. Here we are having our tool DNS Recon. So we have to install the Python requirements. Okay. Okay, so installing packages are successful. Let's try to run the setup now. So we will run this setup. Okay, it's no command supplied. Anyway, we don't need to supply it. Python 3 now our tool was DNS recon.py. Let me open the help menu here. Yeah, cool. Now we are having the help menu here. So we can just give the hyphen D for target domain. We'll just try the normal one, which is hyphen D, the cyberboy.com. So there's no SRV records found, but still we have found the DNS servers out there, and I'm using Cloudflare, so definitely you can take a look on that. Now, this is not everything. We can use multiple things. Like if I just change it to a big organization, we might be getting different results based on what we are actually looking for. Till that, you can just change the output files to JSON, XML, CSV. We don't need that. If we found, like, you can also use a DB for SQLite 3 files to say found results. We got a dictionary option here. We can even the range. We can even provide a range out there. NS server if you're having it. Now we have got a lot of ranges if I'm not wrong, according to SPF records here. So why we are looking for all these things? Like okay, this thing seems to be not that useful in the first look, but why we are using it? So technically, when you're having a proper idea of DNS, you can do lot of things. If you're having misconfigured one, damn, you can do zone transfer attacks. If you're having let's say if you're having a SSRF, then DNS is a little bit helpful when you're trying to do DNS rebinding attacks. So in the end, whatever information you gather is helpful in the end. So this is just the basic ideology that what we can use on DNS, but we will take a look on this practical usage in the upcoming ones because this who is also sort of linked with it. So we have seen about or heard about the who is recon, what is who is, and all these things. So it's a type of reconnaissance where we are having information like the administrative details and much more things. So what is who is cool? Why we need to do this to get the information about the exact owner, registrations, and multiple things. So why we need to do this to gather information? So there's two types of who is thin model, which includes register name, domain registration, dates, and server used. But when it comes to thick model, it can give you few technical details along with the thin model ones and within the administrative details too. So what we use for it, right? So for who is, we usually use a command in the terminal which is who is and then the domain here. So okay, this is my own who is details. Let's take a look on it. So it is just showing me some organizations. Okay, all right. Contact administratives. All right. Contacts, cool. Now, these things are cool, right? They're name servers, but I don't think this is completely exact what I'm looking for. Like the remarks and all these things are cool, but there's no such detail as my own administrative details out there. So how I will look for them? You can even use web-based format for it. If you're not having the terminal, you can simply go to who is recon. Now you can just type the IP, like let's say iCloud.com. We got the iCloud here. The name servers, the status, registration dates, updated on registration contacts, administrative contracts, raw who's data like this. You can use multiple IPs. We can even use a Tesla IP. Let's take a look on what we get from Shodan here. Shodan um, Tesla.com. Let's randomly take a IP. Okay, it shows me that it's moved. Let me just sort it based on the docs. So we got lot of URLs here. I'm just looking for a single IP here. Let me copy this IP here. So this IP belongs to Akamai. Let's take a look on another one. We don't need the WAF here, right? And by the way, if you're having any IP you got from Shodan, you can use it to bypass multiple things. Like suppose you're trying to access any file which is domain.com slash db.txt. Okay, you can replace the domain.com with the IP you found on the Shodan, and that might work on it. Like in many cases, yeah, it works, and you will be granted access to it. Or you can use hyphen x hyphen referer header, and you can use that IPs there. You can use the multiple headers like origin and all those stuff. So I'll be mentioning the notes in that. So you can take a look on all the headers. Now we know the importance how to do who is. Now what's the importance here? You can track phishing, and also in legal works that's a lot of importance about the who is thing. So definitely have a look on that. Now this is one of my favorite topics, server identifications. So what is server first of all? There is a front end, there is a back end. When there is a back end using Apache and all those stuffs, Apache Django or like maybe SQL. So that's a database. But yeah, that's the actual servers on the back end. Now we need to identify what server is there, what types of things are going on there, and it can help in many things, right? If you know like why we need to find it, so to after finding it we can do a lot of things. Like if you know what's the server on the background, you can try for the particular CVs. Suppose there is a Apache going on the background, so you can simply go to your like nodes if you are having node collection and pen test it. Like let me show you what node collection do I use. So let me just open one here to show you. Okay. Okay, so take a look here. Suppose it's having a Jenkins or Jira out there, right? You can use something like this, a whole collection of your own CV based on it. Suppose I'm having the Jira URL here, I can use this sort of notes out there. So on the same end, if I'm having Apache, I will use that notes. If I'm having other servers, I will use that there. So if that is all what matters, then how can it really helps us? So I will say definitely it will help you because when it comes to using few things like let's say suppose it's having Apache, right? So you can try for Apache start vulnerabilities. So how it works, how it helps us in simple manner, it helps us in finding and identifying the server, exploiting or using the bugs or using the particular exploits of the particular Apache server. And if you know that suppose it is using Apache, then if you have like as I said in the starting, always have a crash course for the always read a crash course or learn about any functionality you are trying to exploit. You have done the crash course of the Apache starts. Now you know how this particular things is created and you can look for misconfiguration in that. So definitely taking a look on that is very important. So let's take a look on it. How will you find the servers? It's very simple. So let's take a look on the servers, how to find it, right? So it's very simple. You can use some tools like this. It's iplocation.com. It's a web server software, right? You can check out what the web server is. Like let me say alibaba.com. It's Tenjin. Cool. Let's try for temu.com. Nginx. Amazing. Let's try for taobao.com. Tenjin. Amazing. So we can find like this. Let's say tesla.com. I don't know, it's taking too much. Also, there is one more way that like it's doing its work. Let's try for a few more servers. As we have seen this one, we are unable to get the exact server of tesla.com. We are not able to get it here. So let's try for something. Like if I just click a right click on inspect, go to tesla.com. Like we don't need this right now, so I can simply close it. Tesla.com, inspect, network. Let me just take a look on collect, and yeah, here we are having Nginx 1.18.0 Ubuntu. So by using this type of things, we can get a lot of details about it. Like let me just go for some more websites. Like let me go for my own. So it gives me a lot of errors, but after all, it can give me the exact things or exact server out there. My server is showing Cloudflare. Obviously, it uses Cloudflare. So now you know how to find server, right? Now how to find exploits for it. Suppose you are having Nginx 1.18.1, whatever it is. You can simply find exploits or its vulnerabilities. Just type it. But we can simply understand that this is not enough, right? We need to find few more attack vectors. When you're behalf of the cloud, like suppose you got the origin IP, you can try these things directly. Like on that, I might be having few outbound reads. Okay, now I can just take a look on this CV. Now, what is this CV? Let's take a look on it. Okay, now we can take a look on the CV with some exploits. Now we have the CV of 41741, which is the Nginx. Yeah, it can just read the outbound headers. Now, that's some sort of internal issue. Like as you can see, that this flow allows the local attacker to corrupt Nginx worker memory, resulting in termination using a specifically crafted audio or video file. So by using this, you can find the exact vulnerabilities and their exploits. Now this is how you find all the servers and all these things. And once more, is it important? Definitely. When you are clear with the attack surface, the attack information, it would be very clear for you. Now, the eighth thing we're having is one of the very best thing, text stacks or text stack. So what is the technology stack? It's simple as that. What technologies are used to build that particular web app? Now you know that what tools to use, right? If I simply go here, type temu.com, gonna type nike.com, gonna type let's say very simple website, one website. So here I'm having four websites. Now what if I have to collect all the tech stacks here? I can simply click on this, and that's what Webalizer. For those who don't know about Webalizer, it's a tool on the browser store. Like if I just say Chrome extension Wepi, just type the Webalizer and you will be having the Webalizer here. It is known as technology profiler. What things are used, whatever it's used there. So in Temu, we are using React for the whole website, CDNS Cloudflare. Security, we are using Cloudflare bot management. Tag management is done by Google. The JavaScript libraries, the RAMs, the miscellaneous other things like Ocean Graph and all those things. Let's take a look on few more websites. Nike, our favorite ones. Analytics are done by these. Advertising is this. Development, JavaScript framework, video players. Security, it's using Akamai. Cool. So this is the whole collection of it. Now it's using web server as what? Next.js. So technically what it do is like very simple. Go to a website, take all the details available there, and how it can help us. Suppose you're having an RC. Now what language you are supposed to make the RC payload? So we will looking for what things we are having here. Or let's say we are having JavaScript here. So we will use that. As you guys can see, we are having AEM here, Adobe Experience Service, like it's Experience Platform Identity. But if there is a Adobe Experience Manager somewhere here, so you can try for AEM vulnerabilities and get some good bounties. So this is how basically technology stack works. You collect the data, you use that data to find for the vulnerabilities, try to exploit them. Sometimes all these things are outdated. Like you can see the versions of few things here. So make sure you take a look on that. Can we find bugs from it? Absolutely. So simply when you are able to get some sort of data or like technology stacks of a whole website, you can simply take a look on their internal portals. Maybe like you are having, suppose let's say you are having some sort of hide manager to hide the WordPress WP admin page. And if you know that yeah that plugin is here and it is used to be hide the particular WPS hide. So if you are able to find that yeah there is a plugin, let me try to bypass it. And yeah, you can simply bypass it in most cases because it is outdated in many websites. In the POC collection, there I will show you how to do it. We just done that. Tools to use. Yep, there is many replacements for Vaporizer. You can use WhatWeb if you are having your Kali Linux video. You can use WhatWeb command. Now SSL and TLS. So SSL stands for Secure Socket Layers, and now TLS stands for Transport Layer Security. So what are those? Like we have to do it? Yes, because SSL and TLS can give you a lot of things. What info we will get? The CID.sh tool in subdomain finding. So that tool uses the SSL and TLS for it. Now what tools we should use to find the data about it? So we use TLSX GitHub. It's from Project Discovery, as obvious. Take a look here. You just want a TLS version. The cipher vulnerabilities. You can find it using this. So you can find all the outdated TLS versions. You can find the expired certificates and all the stuff using it. So you can simply install it like this. Usage is this, as simple as that. Just move it to your global directory and you will be able to use it. It is simple as that. It is not even complex. I will say, forget about complex. It's very simple than that. So definitely have a look on these tools, right? It's having a lot of options here. So you can take a look on the CLS. If you're in the corporate hunting, then certificates are important. So you can do a lot of things with it when it comes to certificates. So what information you get here? You get misconfiguration, CIDR, and a lot of things are there. But yeah, for bug hunting, they are not that much impactful, but it is worth using. If you're having an IP range and all those things, like there is IP range or a wide wildcard target, you should use this tool. Then for next step, network scanning. So I'm attaching a whole video about like a 2 years old video of this specific thing, which is I'm attaching a video of this course with more than 775 learners. This course is having a lot of information. I'll say details about the exact nmap and all those things. So I'm adding a whole NSC and the network scanning part here. So take a look on that. Now we can move on to the strings. So we got ports. So hopefully in the previous video you've seen how to find ports, but let's take a quick overview of it. And yeah, they are important. There are multiple ports that you should take a look on, because when you're looking for ports, damn, you are getting a lot of things. Because when you're looking for ports, you can find few ports like ATS for HTTP, 443 is for the HTTPS. But when it comes to other ports like 8088, 8089, that can be some portals, right? So I will be mentioning a file down there which is having all the important ports that you should take a look at. And if you're confused about what this port means, Google it. Now, how you can just find ports? You can simply do nmap -p for the ports, -h for the help menu. Let's take a look on the help menu. Damn, we got this thing. It is a whole help menu, right? Definitely, few suggestions for you. I have mentioned a book in that particular thing, or maybe a link, but definitely master the art of doing nmaps. So let's try for a few things here. Let me explain what is this nmap first of all. So it's a network mapper, full form. We don't need that, right? So that's the input options, right? We want to exclude something. Cool. Listening scan, ping scans, and these ones too. Like if there is some sort of blocking and all those things, you use this -pn. Port list if you want to give. Like these are host discovery options. You can take a look on the DNS server system DNS and all the stuffs. Then we got the scan techniques. Now definitely add these matters at some point. -SEO, UDP scan, -SN and all these things are respectively to TCP null, FIN and XMSS scans. So in the previous video that I just attached, you have seen what are these types of a scan. Now we go to the port, -P for a specific port, right? If for a whole range, you can go for this. You can exclude some ports if you want to. Top ports if you want to only do the top ports. Port ratios. We got the service and version detections if we want to. We want that. Then the script scan. Now we can use it in NSC scans. We are not gonna do that right now. We can go for OS detections. We can go for timings and all those preferences. We can use for firewalls and IDS evasions. Multiple things, right? Spoof source address, specified interface, all these things. Then we can just play with the outputs. Then we are having few miscellaneous things. Enable IPv scanning, right? IPv6 scanning, enable OS detections. You can just simply use the -a to do all these things. Then custom nmap data file locations. We can use a data dir for that. Now that's the basic thing. Now let's take a look on the IP. Let me go to Shodan, right, for Tesla.com. Come on. Okay. So I got few results here with invalid URLs. Let me just go to very few of them. Let's go to this one, 209.113.133. So let me just do nmap -p. I want to scan 100 ports, or like say 100 to 500 ports of this IP with OS detection and all these things, version detection, OS detection, script scanning. But I don't want the script scanning, so I will simply go with the OS scanning. So we will do -o for OS scanning. Now we want the version detection. Okay. So for version detection, there is the option where we got the option is the version detection option. Okay, hyphen V. Now let me just try for hyphen P, and in case I'm having some sort of blocks. What we got here? I'm having few issues out there. Okay, now I need root privileges. No worries. Let's use it. So it's gonna run the nmap here. You can even see this thing, right? So it is telling me that it's 99% down, or maybe it's blocking us. So we'll use hyphen pn for it. So it's only 1% done, 6% done, 7%. Let's wait for it to done. So technically, you use the OS detection based upon your usage. It's not like, okay, let me just go and bring it down here. You are having a range of IP. Use the complicated ones, like not actually complicated ones. Use the list of the IP to input. You can try to find hyphen p and then the whole IP range, because that will definitely give you a lot of input that you really want to. And when it comes to the exactly IP ranges, you can find all the IP ranges. After that, you can find all the available ports from it, from 1000 to 65,000, all the ports. And yeah, it might seems to be, it's a very slow process. Why we have to do that? So for that, I will say that you need to do that, but on only when it's like, when it is supposed to be there. Like suppose you can try for all the ports. Maybe like I'll say 65,000 ports, but nmap is slow, right? We can agree on that. But on that condition, I will say use Rust scan. Now here I'm just adding a capital P here for scanning all the available ports ever. So I don't think it's gonna take time. Okay, let's take a look on what does hyphen P means. Capital P. So this is for the ports if you want to, specify some ports. But after all, if you want to scan all the ports, you can use hyphen P and all the other commands. You can take a look on that here. So you can use all the ports scan by using Rust scan. We'll take a look on that too. So it's taking few time. Let's wait for it to finish. Till that, let me open another terminal. Let's say Rust scan hyphen H. So Rust scan is as simple as that. You can simply give a hyphen A, like I'm having my address is this. Come on. What's my address? My address is this. And I want to find all the ports. Like let me just do hyphen P 1 2 65,000. Let's just suppose this one. You can just simply set your U limit to, but I'm not setting it right now. Okay, what's wrong here? How do we set the ports here then? That's the range here. Let me just do double hyphen ports. We want a whole range to scan. Okay, we need to use hyphen R. Sorry for that. So it is gonna do like, it's a bit fast than the particular nmap. So let's wait for it to finish. It will just completely shut down, so, a whole router in many cases. So we got no results here. No response. Two filtered ports are there, admins and their prohibited ones. Okay, that's cool. Now let's take a look on this. So we got 2083 port open. Cool. Let's see what we are having on 2083. Like we can even see the open ports here. It's a TCP port. So yeah, we're not able to connect to it. Let's wait for the Rust scan to finish because it can give a lot of results. Till that, Rust scan is also good for finding ports. We got one more thing which is Unicorn scan. So for those who don't know what is unicorn scan, let me show you. Unicorn scan. Okay, let me just show you this one. So technically, it's a built-in in Kali Linux, and it is having few features, right? It is working same as that, but yeah, it can give you few additional things. Like Nmap is having NSC, Raster Scan is having its fast way to fuzz all, or like you can say a fast way to gather all the things from the internet. So it's same as that. Even though you can check for specified ports like this, I'm just doing. I can do a specific port which is 2083. You can have your own list for it. So it's still scanning the stealth scan. We have seen what is the SYN scan in the previous attached video. So raster scan is doing its thing. Let's wait for it to finish. Till it finishes, let's take a look on this thing. So finding ports important, definitely. I can attach few images in the end of this course. These images are the exact definition that why you need to find ports, because after finding the ports, I have pen tested or tried few things onto that particular what do we say that on the particular portals, right? Their login portals, they might be Grafana portals, they might be internal admin portals, and a lot of data are exposed there. Maybe if there are not any portals, you can find lot of things out there. So finding portals, that's cool. Finding data from ports, that's more cool, because in many situations you will find a lot of 404 or like very basic homepage on the IPs or on the found ports. But in the end, on the found ports, you can find maybe let's say internal sources or maybe databases, multiple things. In the attached images, you will see that I have found few database disclosures using it. So definitely have a look on the ports. Now it's working on that. Let's take a look on the portals. So portals are simple. It might be a login, internal, or admin portals. Technically, all these three are same. But when it comes to portal, these might be multiple things. These might be admin portals of Grafana. So you can try default credentials. They might work. How to find portals? Fuzzing, content discovery, or using these things, the nmap and all those stuff. Then why we need to find portals? To find bugs? Simple as that? No. So we need to find portals to find things like, let's say, what if you got the access to admin panels? What if you got access to employee logins? You can simply guess the characters. Maybe the login portals are vulnerable with SQL injection. You can try to bypass the logins. You can try to bypass or do some sort of things to bypass them. All these things matter when it comes to the portals. You can look for default credentials, leaked credentials. We will take a look on the leaked ones, but let me show you the default ones here. So we got the um default credentials here somewhere. Take a look on this. We are having these much things. You are using Cisco, look for default Cisco credentials. You are using Citrix, try these ones. So there's a list of it, I'll attach them. You can definitely have a look on it. What to look in portals? So definitely have a look on the services, the injections, default credentials, leaked credentials, why they are using it, like their business purpose for it. And these are the main five things I think that you have to look for or look in the portals. Let's take a look on the raster scan. It's still working. So here our raster scan is finished. As you guys can see, this thing only scanning few ports. We got only this one open here, and it also uses the nmap scripting engine or NSAs here, as you guys can see that. Now we are good with scannings. That's cool. And also, for those who are buying this course, I would like to show that we'll be having a group for this course. We'll be having some sort of live sessions on this particular course. I'll be updating you about that. So make sure to take a look on the link in the description and see you guys there. So after that, we are on directory enumeration. So what is directory enumeration and file enumeration? I'm having two things here. So yeah, this is having a lot of stuffs in them. So directory enumeration may be something like finding directories in a web app. So why we need to do this? Because we are gonna do this because we need to find information that is inside a directory. Because the more directories we get, the more details we can get. Maybe there's a directory like admin. Maybe there can be a directory like database. Maybe there is a directory like which contains the server files. Suppose you are using WordPress, you can go for wp-includes. So for that reason, yeah, we do that. Now, what information we can find from this directory enumeration thing? So technically, we can find a lot of things using it. Guys, you can use these tools, dirb, GoBuster, and date search. So we are gonna use word list for that, right? Definitely, we are gonna use word list. There are two word lists I usually suggest. The first one is checklist. Definitely one of my favorite one. We are gonna use this one for that checklist, or like for the discovery. Yeah, we got this whole section here. You can just find whatever you want to. If you want to do fuzzing, go with this. It's completely on you. And second one is asset node. So I will tell you where to use both of them. But for now, let's take a look here. Let's use GoBuster because I'm only having that one here. Like on Mac, we can't use both of these, like the data search and dirb. You can use that on Kali Linux. So GoBuster -H. Definitely, we got all this help menu. But what we want to do, we want to do directory, right? So I will just say GoBuster directory -H. Now we got one more help menu, right? Let's do a breakdown of it. So definitely there's a usage menu. Flags we need to add, exclude lengths, right? We can do, excluding length can be helpful if there is some sort of length validation that we have to look for. Or we are having, a lot of 200 OKs, but only few of them is having a different length. So we can use the length validation. That's the important one. If you want to follow redirects, do it. Extension strings, all these things. Username, URL, all these things. Yeah, that's cool. Now, -u is for URL. So let's use my own one here. Now there is a big thing that I want to tell you that when you are using word list, we are having a lot of things, right? Because when you take a look on that, a lot of people would be like fuzzing based upon random things or maybe using random word list. We use word list that is supposed to be used. We will use this word list according to the functionalities. So I am having my website on WordPress, so we will be using WordPress a word list of definitely. So I'm having a lot of word list here. I'll share them to you. So let me try for WP includes if I find anything else. So here I'm having an error of non-existence URL. So for that, you just use -b 404 and 403. So let's take a look here. So we got nothing found here. We just excluded these two things that we don't want to take a look on the 404 and 403. Let me change the WP includes to WordPress only. Still got errors. Come on. Okay, so we don't need that one too. So by using this method according to functionalities, you can do a lot of stuff. Let me try to do fuzz. Okay, so it's just 400 because I'm trying to enter this sort of payload, and uh, it is supposed to be the LFI payload. We got the 400 for the LFI payloads. Come on, I know there is no LFI. In the end, you will be getting 403 after that. Let's try one. Okay, you got 400 by Cloudflare, so you won't be able to do that. But still, it's trying, and that's a good thing. So basically, this is how you first, like this is how you try to look for the directory enumeration, right? You need to find a lot of directories. I will share what files do I use for the particular things. If there is some sort of things like, let me show you the asset node word list. They are hiring, cool. So if you want to, find some sort of PHP files, go with it. As I said, you can use, brute forcing for subdomains. You can use this a word list for it. That's a good one. And it's completely based on technology. Suppose you are having let's say you are having a Tomcat, Apache Tomcat, or maybe you are having Cold Fusion, Flask, Laravel, Nginx. So you can use this sort of word list for doing it. Suppose on Tesla we are having Nginx, so we will use this type of word list to find a lot of information out of it. Then it's on the file enumeration. So let me tell you a few things before starting file enumeration. So there's a thing. Do we have to use word list? I showed you. Now can we use FFUF or FOF tool on it? So yes, you should use FOF tool on it because in the end that tool is very useful for it. You can do the same process on it. So you can use FOF. Now file enumeration. So yeah, now you're enumerating files. We are done with directories. Now we are trying to look for files. Why we need to do this? Because when you are able to find a lot of files, that's a lot of resources. And file enumeration is important. So, damn yes, it's really important. Now, what info we can find from it? So, a lot of files can be leaked, and that can be having a lot of sensitive information. I don't think I need to explain that. And we can use the same tools at many points. So, we can use FFUF, like let's say, I just showed you how to use the data search. Now, let's take a look on FFUF. That's a great tool. Just fuzz things. Suppose you are having, 404 pages. Use FFUF on it. 404 pages of Nginx. Use FOF tool on that. You can find a lot of internal disclosures. Maybe there's a lot of files. Suppose you found slash admin. Now first the slash admin again. So you just keep going, keep going, keep doing the enumeration, and you get a lot of things. All right. So we can do the same procedure here. So now we know the basics of fuzzing. Right now we can use FFUF on multiple tools. So the standard commands you can use it on your own. But if I just tell you how to use FFUF-H, have a look on this great menu. Like personally is one of my favorite tools when it comes to fuzzing or doing some sort of information gathering. So you can simply use it in using multiple things. So how will I use it? I will simply using puff hyphen u for my specific parameters. Like I can use let me go with let's say https tesla.com slash fuwz. Now where am I writing the first? It will first there. Now I need to have a word list. I will simply give users and the word list that I shared you. So I'm gonna use let's say let's go to another word list folder. Now I'm just trying to look for something like maybe JS files or maybe JSP things. So let me just try for JSP here. And I want only 200 things. I want only found things. And if I want to follow redirects, let's just try to give some options here. You can use that follow redirect too, but it will give some sort of issues. So I'm just using this only for the JSP files, and let's see how many JSP files I get with the valid response score of 200. Now this is the basic usage of this tool, and just you have to do this recursively on multiple things. And also there is a video attached and file enumeration from the older course too, so make sure to check it out. Now we are on the third party game. So technically, the third party things can be very important. When it comes to third party, you can have multiple things. So when I'm talking about third party, it's what, like sometimes it might be the API key, sometimes it might be the what you can say that the token leaks. Suppose there is a over token leaked by third party, that's cool. Forgot password token leaked by third party, that's cool. Third party plugins are there, that's cool. You can pen test always them. So definitely when you are done looking at the main web application technologies, always go for the plugins and all those stuffs. And they are usually in the third party game. So how can we find them? Like how can we detect them? Using Wapalizer, you can use multiple the web app, like sometimes the web app will decide, like let me show you any website. Let me go to tesla.com. Now I'm going to temu.com. So Tesla uses it like Tesla is using all the things by its own, but let me show you. We can be having a lot of things here. We can get a lot of things here, like let's say shop. So let's take a look on the apparel. It might be using Shopify, there's a chances, right? Or there might be some sort of chat support that is used by the intercom. So if there's some sort of things like that, like the external chat support, all these things, then you got the login portals. These might be having a lot of things changes into them. Now let me go to temu.com. So that's a good one. My account is logged in. Now let me click on message. So I hope this is their own message one. If this is something, it is some other service like intercom or chat supports. So then there might be their own vulnerabilities. All right. So how to find third party services? Explore the web application. Take a look on the plugins. Take a look on the source code. Take a look on the flow of the website. These four things are major. What if there is something left that we're unable to understand? That would be found using the word list. If you're fuzzing on something or you're fuzzing on the main directories, you will find a lot of things into that. Or if there's a very big website like Azure and something else, then you can take a look on the YouTube tutorials to understand how the particular web works and how to exploit third party things. Simple as that. You can simply exploit third party things by what? By finding exploits to it. Like let me show we were having few websites of WordPress where we are having hidden portals. Right? We are not able to access WP-admin. Now if you just take a look on third party services, there was a plugin which is expired. So we tried to exploit it and we were into the admin. So this is the basic procedure of how you can do these things. WAF misconfiguration. So technically WAF is not your enemy. Like yeah, web application firewall is one of the best things that you can have. Now how we can say that? Look, WAF can be a good friend of you. Like if it is configured properly, then it's some sort of it's a stone in the way. But when it is not configured properly, there might be some severe bugs. You can even bypass them if they're outdated. So how to find the bypasses? I have mentioned XSS bypasses in the attached PDFs. And when it comes to other bypasses, I have mentioned a few Twitter channels that can help you. Check out their post, you will find a lot of content there. How to find misconfigurations? Always have their updated details. Suppose new version of Cloudflare is released now. So what was the issue that the new version was there? Make your own notes because that's the best thing you need to understand. And how to find if any of the things that I found web application is impactful, if anything that is making impact to the own website or the users or the company, if the web misconfiguration is affecting any of these three, that's impactful. So suppose I'm just talking about let's say Cloudflare. So I can simply say that domain.tld. Now there might be some sort of directories or directories. Then you got something like CGI bin or like maybe like URL equals to. Now it is validating only it is only using the domain.tld, but you can still instead do something like avil.com and just do whatever you think. So this is just example of a very basic thing, but overall when you are looking for application firewall, always have a look on the impacts. Like, yeah, it can be misconfigured in many ways. Or you can do one more thing. You can search the domain on Shodan, get IP, and suppose you are blocked from this URL. Let's say you are blocked from this URL. You're blocked from this, right? So replace the dir.com with the IP. You can get a lot of things in that. Just example, but definitely Westman configuration doesn't mean that it should be bypassing something. You can do a lot of things. Now, a lot of people having issues with what is WAF and what is CDN. They are same or not? So definitely they are not same. CDN is deployed at the ingress layer to accelerate content distribution, while WAF is deployed at the intermediate level to protect application. Even without the web application firewall, CDN can still protect our websites. Now that's the thin line difference between both of them. But yeah, it's really effective when it comes to real life application. Now, how to look for something in them? CDN are pretty similar to web application firewalls, so pen testing is almost same. But we can use a tool here, which is CDN Recon. Now we are at the 17th part, which is alive subdomains. So why we need alive? So we need to sort out the dead ones and the alive ones. When we sort out both of the types of subdomain, it's very helpful. So what about the other dead subdomains? We can try and subdomain takeovers and multiple things on them. But additionally, we can even do fuzzing onto them, integrate multiple things. So here we are going to use two tools, HTTPX and HTTP probe. Now it's a very big doubt that if you are using HTTPX, why you need to use HTTP probe. So look, when we provide input source to HTTPX, it only uses like this and saves it. If it's get 200, okay. But when it comes to HTTP probe, it even checks for HTTPS and HTTP. So if you input, around 1000 subdomain to HTTPX, you will get around 800 or 500 alive. But when it comes to HTTP probe, you input 1000, you might be getting results around 1500. So it depends. So both gives us different results, and why we need both. There might be some subdomains that are working on 40, like 80 ports, right? Or might be HTTP. So we use both of them for have a better attack surface. And let's learn to use them. There's nothing to learn about them. It's very simple. Terminal 100. Now here we are having the Tesla subdomains. You just type HTTPX and then just name a file. Now it is trying to find all the alive subdomains and it will save them. Now our office is still working on, and you can use FFUF in multiple things. Like when you're having a parameter or any sort of extensions, like let me show you. Where is the of category? Here. When you're having something like domain.tld slash nginx. Now you can fuzz it. This type of fuzzing can give you a lot of things. So make sure you do that thing. Now, I hope this is done. So it will be done soon. Let's wait for it. So we are here on the alive subdomains. I hope it's done. Yeah, so it's done here. As you guys can see that. Now I'm not having HTTP probe here, but if I'm having, I'll be showing you. It is working same on this command, same on this command. You just type the HTTP probe here and it will work. Now, Let's see how many alive subdomains I have. 418. Cool. And how many unalive subdomains do I have? Or like total subdomains? 917. So there might be a high number of subdomains that I'm not having alive. So on that we can type a subdomain takeover. If you are having subject or some tools like that, you can simply run on the all subdomains collection. Like let me just give it let me just try to have a whole word list input into that and you can use it. Then what we can do after our live subdomains, that's a simple thing. IP recon. So for this step, I don't know. Yeah, here is the thing. Automated IP recon tool. So I made a whole tool that can do multiple things for you. But let me show you what does this mean. So IPs are not usual, not normal things, right? You need to do everything in a very live manner. So suppose what is this? Why we need to do this? So technically, IPs are very crucial when it comes to multiple results. So as you have seen that we are having around 1,500 subdomains of Tesla, but we are having more than 7,000 IPs of Tesla. So on that condition, if you just take a look on multiple IPs, like suppose you are having Shodan that is grabbing all the IPs from you or all the IPs, testing or finding all the ports on the IPs. Suppose, let me show you what is IP means to you. Like conditions, we are having few conditions here. We are having few conditions here. Target is wildcard, but no IP are given. So on that note, what do you do? Like you go to Shodan or use the CLI for it, collect all IP, find all open ports, find all portals, find find all the dashboard services, dashboards, services, and all the files. Then what you do? You do fuzzing. So it's a very complicated thing, right? You have to do all these things one by one by one, but it is worth doing it. Everything there is gonna be, it's somewhere done behind the scenes. So if we're able to do all these things, that's a very good thing. Like in the previous session, we just chose a IP from Tesla.com. We tried to use it. We just tried to use that particular IP, right? And just tried to fuzz it, tried to find all the open ports. So you have to do it on all the 7,000 IPs, right? Now I can definitely see that it's hard to do it, but yeah, you should do it. And I have made an automated script for it, so I'll be providing it, which will be doing all these things, but in a different manner. I will explain them. So now, what information will we get from here? A lot of information. As you guys can see that we are having IPs, ports, portals, dashboard services. In many cases, you get their internal database access, right? Maybe some sort of indexing that is very easily or poorly managed. You can access lot of content from there. You can even get their older details, older datas, maybe their client details. So doing this is worth, but make sure you at least find P1 or P2 bug. P3, P4 are usually not accepted in these cases. And always write a report based on this condition that okay, I know that it might be out of scope, but have a look on that. So definitely take a look on that. How can we do this? This is the exact procedure that you can do. Like all the IPs you can do Shodan CLI. For this process, you can use Shodan CLI, finding all the open ports. Now it's completely on you. You can use Rust scan or Nmap. Find all the portals. So you can do the same thing, brute forcing or all the things. Finding all the finding things should be done there. And when it comes to fuzzing, I will definitely suggest Puff over any tool. Nmap. So definitely refer to these 3 points. And let's use Nmap for advanced methods. So it's around NSE, right? As you guys can see, NSE. So Nmap for advanced methods. So how can we use Nmap for multiple things? So let me show you the older POCs. Like I might have mentioned them, but still let me explain it to you. So I will be sharing all these things, and I hope you have seen all the usage menu of it. Now, NS is a Nmap scripting engine, which is technically automation for IPs in short. And there are multiple types of scripts, multiple types of usage menus on that. So I'll be sharing you all the theory with the video lecture on that. But for now, let's take a look on these things. You can try for default scan map words. You can try different scripts. You can even try or figure out what are the scripts that you want to use. Like if I'm not wrong, we have seen that particular word somewhere. Here is this for the domain name thing. Let's try this. So I've already mentioned the whole NSA thing, so make sure to take a look on that. So let's try for this thing nmap hyphen t4 hyphen p double hyphen script. Now, as you guys can see that we are using a script which is DNS brute. If I just simply type my IP here, where is my IP? Or we can simply use the domain name too. But let's use script DNS brute and our target. So let me just give. So technically, what double hyphen script means is we are going to use NSE to find some sort of specific data, or I will say specific data from a set, or we are using it sort of automation on the network or on the Nmap. So I have already mentioned a whole video, a whole lecture on the theories with all those things. So make sure to take a look on that video, and let's wait till both of this finishes. And you got no result in the Nmap or on the FFUF. You know that. And also saying again, don't miss the live classes. It will be done on 31st January. So let's wait for it till it's done 100%. Till that, let's go ahead. Automated IP recon tool. So I've attached it. You guys will see that with the readme and requirements. So you can install it and see it will be very simple. It will ask for everything one by one. You just provide it and configure your Shodan key with it. It will be doing all this process. But let me explain it again. It will use Shodan for and it will just collect IPs from them. Shodan to collect IPs. Then it will go to Rust scan for ports. Then it will go to nuclei with specific templates for bugs for multiple things like let's say dashboards, portals, bugs, expired services, all these things. Then it will ask you to if you want to fuzz or not, and then it's okay. So technically it's gonna do multiple things, but I mentioned one thing which is nuclei. So a lot of things people think about nuclei is not good at automation and all these things, blah blah blah. I totally agree with you. But in the end, when it comes to nuclei, if you know how to use it properly, there is nothing best than it. Nuclei is way good for gathering information. Like you can't detect every Jira, every Grafana, every Jenkins one by one, and there is more than 5,000 subdomains. So on this particular place, it's very useful. You can simply put the whole list of subdomains into that, and you will get the proper output. All right. Now let's take a look on this output. what output we're having. So host is up, it's undergoing the script scan. Nice. Anyway, it will take few time to finish it. Now, performing ASN lookups, autonomous system number, that's a cool thing. Either like as a single query or list of IP, it's a very important thing to know. Like why ASN important and why we need to do this recon. ASN number plays an important role. Like if I just Google the ASN thing, why ANS are used, you can simply this. Where is this? ASN numbers. Okay, why ASN numbers are used. So to control routing within their network to exchange routing information with other internet service providers. In short, ANS can do a lot of things with us. So if you just take a look on these tools, we will just take a look on these two tools to understand why ANS is important. So let's try for ASN Recon. ASN Reconnaissance script, and what it will give us, it can do or it can give us a lot of things. But first of all, we have to take a look on it. So let me just copy this thing. Let's install this tool. CD terminal, Android tools. So let's look for pip install -r pip3. Cool. Now we can simply do Python 3 ASN -h. So let me just go with it. But there is a raw input should be formatted. Okay, I think we need to do the install.sh. We need to run that file. So I think it's done. Okay, we need to just follow this. Okay, let's do Python 3. Okay, so we are using BGP data website. I will just telling you what is this, because yeah, that's a very important thing that we have to know about it. So let's stop this tool because if we're gonna use that, we'll be going to using that. So let's try for other tool ASN map. The features are simple. We can install it using Go. Now what we can do here. So technically by using ASN map, we are having a proper reconnaissance to ASN. Like as I said, we can even go for the website here. So let me just show you what is a web-based recon. Here is a website that we are going to look on that can do the ASN recon proper way. So let me just say that Tesla.com. We just name the Tesla. We don't give that thing. So we are having ASN numbers of each websites, like each route. So I'm having a whole range for the Tesla Logic Ltd. That's the good one. I will open this. You can just even look for who is DNS, IRR, trace routes. Technically, you can do all those things that we have done in the old video or in the old sections. You can easily do that. All right. Now let me just go back a little bit more. Let me try for this Toledo, Tesla. Now we got the whole origin ASN numbers and all these things. That's two for V4. We got the peers here, prefixes. So technically, what's actually happening here is we are having a lot of data about a particular program. Now, if you are able to find any ASN number of any specific routes, like even if I just say, let me just do cyberbot.com, or let me remove it, just this, I got no results because I'm not that much, I will say that, not having that much peers and connections. But if you just go for some other companies like GetViro, this is an active bug bounty program, but we are not having it. So it's not that like we're only having a lot of numbers and a lot of targets. We are having significant number of targets. We are getting a good range, like as you have seen that Tesla.com, or like let's say any program which is completely wild, BMW. Choose any IPv4, the whole range, find all the ports, find all the open ports, all these things, and pen test them. You might get a lot of things. So in short, finding ASN, using ASN number to exactly get a hand over all the all over the target. You are having a her whole hand on the target. You can use Shodan, you can use all these tools to control or get a collections of all the IPs to find ports, use multiple things on that. So on my side, I will say spend a good time with this website. Get all the IP sports. You will find a lot of other things too here. You want DNS report? Put the URL. You can get a lot of things. IPv6, IPv6 certifications. You don't need to do that. Top host report. Cool. Top 100 hosting companies. So in short, I think you got it. What I meant to say. Like it's fun. Let's go to Tesla.com once again. If you just type a whole URL, it will give you the website info and all those things, all the IPs, the routes with the ASN numbers. That's our ASN number. All the details here that we don't need at least for now. The whois data is here. Prefix V4, which IPs are there. So have a look on this. This website is gold mine for you all. That's a graphical representation for all these things. The trace routes for it. Now you got the ASN info. Just take a look on the number. We have this. Now we need to find the range of it. And we are good to go. In the previous videos, I have even showed you which tools you can use to get all the um like provide a host CIDR or a range to get the details out there. And also one more thing not to forget, you just got a range, you got all the open IPs with ports. That's very good, right? You got all these things. Now you found some portals. Don't exploit it directly. Just copy the IP, search it on Shodan or Zuma, and you will get the exact definition. Okay, you should hunt on it or not. If that belongs to your surface, like if that belongs to your domain, that's good. If it is not belonging to your domain, don't hunt on it. So always have a double check on that thing, and you will be good to go. That. So I think our DNS brute script was done. We got two ports open. 8443, which was our domain. Our domain was tesla.com. We got all the DNS brute forcing for the host name. So you can use NS in this way, and I have other showed other ways too. If you are a hack the box or the other CTF player, you know this thing already. Next thing, Netcraft. So it's an internet monitoring company that monitors uptime and provides server operating system detection. So it's an online tool that allows user to query a database for host information. It seems to be basic, but no, it's not. Netcraft. We need Netcraft site report. We have to go on this one exactly. Now let me just give. So the site title would be shown. Site rank not present. Description not present here. First seen October 21. Risk rating is here. Primary language is English. Like, look, it's a basic thing. It is giving you IPv4 ASN number or autonomous systems. We got it. IPv6 autonomous systems. We got it. Reverse DNS unknown. IP declarations or delegations. So it's a IP range that is possibly out there, and it belongs to Cloudflare. IPv6 address, SSL, TLS, all these things. All right. Now, certificate transparency and multiple things are here that we have to take a look on that. So we got this certificate transparency details here, Heartbleed, like a lot of details are here with DMARC details, center policy frameworks. Okay, site technology, client side, all these details. Like there's a whole bunch of details that we need. So it can really help you get a lot of data in short. So we got Tesla.com. Okay. Okay. So after it, you can look for other like you can say other vulnerabilities or other details. Now, these details should be mentioned below. Like you should have all the track of this detail in a text file. Now, in the starting thing, I have shared you that always make notes of everything you have because in the end you will need that. Now, suppose we are having the whole track of this thing, right? Now you are having whole track of this thing. Now, why you need the track of this thing to contain all the details? And when we get something else, like in the upcoming time, we got multiple things to discuss and all these things. So when you're going further hunting for many things, you got to know all these details. When you're hunting for target over like 3 or 4 weeks to that, you need all these details in the end. Got it? So the next thing is reverse IP lookup. So reverse IP checks that a domain name is pointing to a web server and searches for other site known to be the host on the same server. So what does that mean? So when you are going to a web server or website and it is having suppose not talking about very small companies, talking about the intermediate or big companies who are having their own web server, or suppose they are having a whole website, not they are not using the shared, right? They are using their own web server or enterprise level server. So they might be having all the subdomains on a single server. So when all the subdomains are in a single server, what can happen? Like suppose you are having 55 subdomains, 52 are on the public, you can find using OSINT, but few domains you are unable to check. So on that note, you can use the reverse IP checkup. So you can do reverse IP lookup on this website. So let me just take a reverse IP lookup, a reverse IP domain check. So I have premium or a shared hosting. Okay, service enable. Why? I guess the service is enabled. We can use other ones. Okay. We have found one more hosted on the same web server as Tesla.com, and that is Tesla.com. Definitely. We can use Google.com. We have found three domains on the same web server as Google.com, which is YouTube, Google, and Meet.google. All right. Let's take a look on. Let's take a look on multiple things. You can find multiple domains on that and use the same reverse IP domain checkup. Now this help us to get the same websites on the only this will help us to get the websites on the same server, and that can give you a lot of benefits to that. Okay. So now we are on the web-based recon, but yeah, we have just changed. We have just already done it with the bgv.he.net, your signal, and all those things. But also there are few more webs that you can check it out. You can just check out the security trails that we have done already, because I personally use that too much while I'm hunting, and that's a good resource. Now, what is Google docking? So technically, I have three things here: Google, Shodan, and GitHub docking. So I've already made three videos on them on YouTube, and they are completely live with in depth. So I'm downloading that video, sharing you all those things here, and we'll be taking a look on them live. Also, we are having a lot of live details on that particular docking video, so make sure you take a look on that because there's a lot of bugs we have found in that too. Now we are on the Zoom Eye section. So what is this? Why is instead of Shodan? So I already made a video about why we have to use a Shodan, like we use Zoom Eye over Shodan. Because when you are using Shodan, you will get the issue that okay, this IP does not belongs to us. Shodan use its own DNS database. So and that's the reason we will get a lot of NA using that Shodan IPs. So on that condition, you need to use Zoom Eye. Now what is Zoom Eye? It is same as Shodan but a little bit different with more features, I guess. It's a kind of slow website, but yes, have a look on it. I'm giving you a quick look here and attaching a whole video on why you need to do that. It will be live on around 22 December. Today is we are on 20 December here. Yeah, let's wait for it to load. This website is really slow. Okay, so I guess here we are on the Zoom Eye. Now you can use the same docs, same all things here, but it's technically it's a good one. Just type Tesla, technically tesla.com. On tesla.com, the same doc here, you get 57 results. That's really cool. Now if I just remove all these things and just type tesla.com, we got the doc again. So technically it is helping you in docking in a very good manner. Also, you're having this section named vulnerabilities, so you will get the vulnerabilities available on this particular uh, IPs that belongs to tesla.com. So technically it is not helping you in a very basic manner. It can help you find vulnerabilities even with the CV numbers where they are possible. All what it want is like you have to create an account on it and you can just take a look on them. Now, what we need to do here, we can just do this log. We need to just log in on here. You can sign up using here. It takes a long time to sign up, but I'll show you. Just don't forget to take a look on the attached video too. Now, I have a whole video on the show on the Zoom. I like how to use it for IP reconnaissance, how to use it for vulnerability finding, and many more things. So take a look on it. We are just attaching the video. Now we are in the spidering session. Now what is spidering? We crawl website for all the endpoints possible on the website on the web app. So why we need to crawl so we can get a better understanding of it, and it is really important to do because as much as you dive deep into the web app, you will get a better understanding and better chances of getting a vulnerability that can lead you to a good dollar signs. Now, what we need to look for after we crawl. So technically you have to look for all the parameters. You can use GF tool for it. But yeah, you have to just take a look on the actual crawling process. you might be getting a lot of parameters that are not easily visible to you. So you can use particular tools. You can use Spider in Burp. You can use Param Spider, Scrapey, Go Spider, A Spider, and Param Pam Pam. So my favorite personal two tools are Param Pam Pam and Param Spider, and we can't forget the Spider in Burp. So let's take a look on this is Param Spider first of all. So let me go to terminal tools. Here we are having Param Pam Pam. You can simply use it, but on this condition we are going to use Param Spider here. So it is really simple to use them. So start Python 3 from spider hyphen h. Now just give the domain. My domain is tesla.com, and boom, I'm ready to go. It is just gonna take around 30 seconds and it will give you a very good detail about it. On the same end, you can use param pam pam, same usage menu almost, and you can just combine both of the results. Now I have seen a lot of people combining param spider with multiple tools like GF or Wayback, but I think having a manual look is way better than that. So I think my output is saved in here. Yeah. If I just type tesla.com, just try to grab some sort of ID equals to. So as you guys can see that I'm having a lot of employment IDs, design IDs, lot of things here. So you can try to pen test them in easy manner. But don't forget to check out all these IDs. Like I completely understand that when it comes to identifying 176 parameters by yourself, you can do it. But when there is more IDs than this, it's hard to do it. We can totally understand that. So on that particular part, you can use a method called sorting out. So you just sort out the similar ones, like all the similar IDs here, and you will get um, a shorter format to test, maybe like 15 or 20. So you should definitely take a look on that. Then brute forcing, look, brute forcing and fuzzing are they're different. So yes, in brute forcing we use valid data to check a login attempt work or not. But when we are fuzzing, we send random text to break the expected behavior of a system. This is the basic difference between them. So what collection we can use, like when you're trying to brute force, you can use intruder in my opinion. Intruder is best, but we can also use these tools. So you're not going into networks here, but definitely network is also here. When you're trying for SSH brute forcing, go with it. Then file enumeration, we have already seen that. Now these two are my favorite file enumeration tools, I will say. So take a look on them definitely. Endpoint recon. So what is endpoints? A specific parameter to test on. How to find them? Multiple methods, spidering, crawling, waybacks, all this can help you a lot. And you can easily identify them. They look like they're sort of different on that thing. And how to look for them? We can look on endpoints very easily when it comes to endpoint research. Simply go to the endpoint, have a lot of tries on that, how the endpoint is behaving. Like as I said in the spidering thing, we can definitely take a look on that, how specific thing is behaving, and we are just doing things on it. So we're having two things here, external finder and Arjun. These two can help you find hidden parameters or hidden endpoints. So let me show you, like I have made a whole video on these tools, but still take a look on it. External link finder. Just give it the input and it's ready to go. It can simply do whatever you want it to. So definitely take a look on this external finder tool because it will help you a lot. You will get a lot of parameters. Let's try. So terminal and tools. I think we are having it right now. Okay, nice. We are having this thing Python 3 external finder dot py and the help menu. So here you can just even give a word list for it. A lot of options are there. You can just make a config file on it. Lot of things are here. So definitely take a look on it. Now let me simply use it on input. I will just going to input a URL which is tesla.com. and let's wait for it. Now, you need to provide a scope filter, definitely. So my hyphen SF would be Tesla. Oh wait, Tesla dot com. So scope filter works for the particular thing. Like you need to define a scope, whether it can exclude or like add some subdomains or all these things. So scope filter is important out there. So we can wait for it to finish. Till that, you can use urgent too. Like urgent is really useful. I am not saying that it is not useful, but in many cases it will give you a false positive. So definitely you can use both of these tools, but I will say I usually use external link finder. So it is probing target for stability. Like both of these are working on their own. Now, till they are working on them, what is the JS recon? So JS files are important. They might contain APIs, they might contain credentials, they might contain developer details too. So you need to find them. Now, how to find JS files? So the answer for this is like Wayback, crawling, spidering. This technically these two methods are enough. The third one is like source code. Now these three things can help you a lot, and if you are having time, then you can do brute forcing for JS files, or you can use dorking. Many methods to find JS files. Now, when you got the JS files, you can use any of these two tools, the JSF scan or analyze.js. But you can also use this third one, which is Nucleus. So I have made a tool for finding information disclosure on its own. So it's a very simple tool. It will collect all the JS files. Then after collecting all the JS file, it will open each of them, look for the information disclosed using it. So personally, that's a very useful tool for me, like from the past few times. But definitely, that's a good one. So I'm having a whole tool which can automate your whole process of JS recon. But when you are having a lot of JS files, like under 1,000, you are having JS files, have a manual look too. And all the files that seems to be suspicious, definitely have a manual look, because in the end, JS recon will not be that automated. It should be look closely. Take a look on now. Let's take a look on these two tools. I use the nuclei method and create my own script. You can use in your own way. So we are having these two tools here. So JSF scan can do gather JS links, import file containing JS URLs, extract endpoints, find secrets from JS files, get JS files stored locally for manual analysis, make a word list from these particular JS files, extract variable names, scan JS files for XSS, and generate a proper HTML report. So this tool is very useful. I can totally say that, but in the end, you have to use all the tools, because when you're trying to do something manual thing and turning it into automated scripts, you need to have a manual look on it too. Now we got 0 0 results for multiple reasons, but yeah, you can use these two tools. I'm just using it for demonstration, but that can give you a lot of information. I will also attach that video too, so you will have a closer look. Hidden information. So definitely the whole course is about this thing. So we'll be taking a look on that eventually. But hidden informations would be everywhere. There is no specific location. Parameter discovery. So the easiest active way to discover URLs and corresponding parameter is to crawl the site. And parameter can be discovered there. You can use the hidden parameters from XML link finder, and you will find a lot of hidden parameters. A lot of hidden parameters. Okay. Now I guess it's clear to you what is parameter discovery, but in the end, you have to definitely do all these things, slowly and practically to practice it yourself. And that's what the reason I will giving you all these hashtags here, that you have to practice each step by yourself. Now, what's token handling? So, when it comes to token handling, it's not that simple, I'll say. But token handling is something you can say that you got a lot of tokens, like, reset token, password forgot token. You need to find them. You need to find these all tokens. You can find it from Wayback URLs. If there is leaked in third party, you can check Burpsuite for it. You can configure Burpsuite for it. I will show you in the upcoming part. We are having the Burpsuite here whole. Now, how to leak tokens from there? So, tokens get easily leaked. You can even find it in GS files, maybe in the responses, maybe in the request, or maybe in the what do we say that URL. I'll show you a few POCs out there, so make sure. There's unlimited number of sources, but I will say the Waymo is the best one. Now, fuzzing, I already explained what is fuzzing and what is brute forcing. And additional things we have to look for is information. We have to have a clear understanding that what we have to do to find information. Nginx, use the particular word list, find the located files, and you will get a clear idea of it. Special resources are the special word list. I am attaching a whole WORDL word L dot zip. So these are the word lists that I will use. Take a look on it. Now, information leak. Now, this is the climax, right? If you combine everything in this particular PPT or in this particular text file, that's the thing that we are looking for. All step above are having traditional resources that can help, and I am mentioning all the links, all the details in the attached file. So make sure to take a look on that. Token leaks, source code leaks, backup leaks, API leaks, database leaks, third party leaks, logs, internal leak, server leaks. Now these few steps seems to be a lot of complex thing, but you have to take a look on all of this using a single files or single resources. Now, till now, what we are having a lot of JS files, lot of subdomains, lot of ASN number, lot of DNS data. We are having almost, enough data for a website. Now, what to do with the data? Take a look on the tokens, take a look on the source codes, take a look on the backups. Now, backup is not backup.zip. Make your notes. I'm mentioning my notes to you. I'm sending all the notes that I will use for this sort of leaks, having all of them attached in the particular resource.zip. So take a look what you have to search. Whenever you're trying to search for token, you're having special things to take a look on. When you're looking for source code, you have special things to look for, special keywords to grab. So definitely have a spend a time on it. We have already seen the third party leaks, the tokens, and multiple things. Now we are at the header analysis. So definitely, that's the thing. We usually ignore headers like, okay, we don't need to do with it, but headers are the main thing. Learn to play with them. I'm having a lot of notes with the header to play, but I'm attaching them because header can help you bypass things. Header can help you bypass 403 pages. Header can help you hack multiple things. They can make you, arise bugs on that. If you're having CORS and XSS, combine them. So, in short, headers should be analyzed. I will show you how. Request analysis. What is the request? So, web request is not normal. You need to analyze it. If you're in the Burp suite, there is a request like post request or get request. Send it to repeater and take a look how it is working, how the thing is going, or like, how request is going on, how request is incoming, all these things. So take a deep look on that. Now these are the Chrome extensions you need. um I guess I have made already a video on Chrome extension. I'm attaching them too, because in that video we have seen that Chrome extensions can help you find vulnerable endpoints, and how, I will show that to you. Now the 51 point sanitization checks, come on. Sanitization is something that we have to do it. Like that's the necessary thing. You are having inspect element part. Take a look on that. Inspect element is too easy. If there is an endpoint, like enter a payload with curly brackets, all the tags out there, and take a look. Is website sanitizing all of them or few of them? The few of them are remaining. Encode them. Like look, spend time on a website, you will learn a lot. The more you spend time on the particular sanitization looks, you will get the better payloads. So we'll take a look on it, how to identify. Now these are burp extensions that you have to use. Using websites for recon, definitely we can use. Now we are having the 55th point. Visual recon. So visual recon is something that you can look on. And why we need to do visual recon? To be honest, visual recon has led me to a lot of bounties, and I'll also mention few YouTube videos about it that I have created about visual recon. So you will get a very clear idea of it. Manual observations, what to do in it. Now, these are the few things that we have to do now. Alright, so after the spidering stuffs, we are on the above extensions and visual recon. So I have attached the video for visual recon. I hope you have completed it till now. Let's take a look on Bob Suite. So in that particular video, I'm gonna use a crack version as most of you will be using that. So let me show you. This is how usually the Bob Suite Professional looks like, the cracked one. I'm not promoting piracy or all those stuffs, but if you are using it, just take a look on that. So this is how it looks like, and if you are going for the older versions, which is 1.7x or other ones, they are pretty cool. So for now, we are having few features: the target, proxy, intruder, repeater, collaborator, sequencer, decoder, comparator, logger extension, and this two ones, JSON and Bounty Pro. So technically, we have to take a deeper look on them. So for that, we need the Firefox. So we are on the Firefox here. So we have seen the few extensions. You guys can install them. I'm having already installed the Foxy proxy with the Burp Suite configured for here. So if I just type anything here like the hacker one, and if I just turn on my intercept, I can see whole request here. Now, usually we are here for doing some sort of basic stuffs. Like if I just show you what is intruder, I hope you all know that. I'm just using test PHP for it. You can use intruder for multiple stuffs. Like you all know the basic stuff. Yeah, we can go for the attack types. We can go for the payloads and all those stuff. So let me show you. If I just type hacker here, click on go. Now here is the request. Let me send it to intruder. Close this. Now you can see we are having this thing reflected here. Let me clear everything. Just replace the hacker. Like this, you can just use this dollar button here. Now we can go into payloads, add the different stuffs. Like let me just add very random thing. XSS, not this one. Clear everything else. A very basic XSS. If I just go to start attack, I got this much of attack. Now I need to understand few things: status, error, timeout, and length. We got different length, different status, all these things. Even though we can just click on the show response in browser, copy it, go to our Firefox, paste it. Now we got any, a broken image. Okay, that's not a XSS. Let's take a look on this one. Let me copy the response, and I want to see this in my browser. Let me go paste and go. Now I got the pop-up. So this is how standardly we will use the intruder. But no, that's not enough. We need to do a lot of things. We can go with the we don't need to do this thing, right? For fuzzing and all those stuffs, we are having the different things, like maybe we got the FFUF for basic stuff. We need to use the different types of attack, like the cluster bomb, right? And this particular option, we need to provide multiple, payload sets and all these things. Like if I just add to go, add it here. Now we got multiple things: the attack payload first, the attack payload two. So if I can add two types of attacks here, like both the parameters will be first for it. So as you guys can see, request count is 400. With the first payload, all these 20 things are tried. So you can use this thing in the different ways. You are even having the turbo intruder for race conditions. If you know what is a race condition, I have attached one more video for it too. So technically, we are not here to learn how to use collaborator and all these options into that. We all know repeaters, we all know the sequencer, decoder, all these things. We are here to use extensions out there. So what extensions I was naming there? Logger plus autorize. So I guess I'm having both of them here. So if I just take a look on that, is I am having few of them, which is Log4Shell, Collaborator Everywhere. This is one of the best one. Burp Bounty Pro, Turbo Intruder. Now we need Logger plus plus. So what is Logger plus plus? Let me show you. So Logger plus plus is used for, you can just log multiple requests and response, and this will allow you to filter all the highlighted interesting interesting endpoints, logs, and everything that can matter for you. Or you can just add a filter out there. It will use high memories overall. If you are not having that much PC, like high configuration, kindly avoid it, but you need to use it. Then it's time for authorize. So technically, it is helping you, detect authorization vulnerabilities. But authorization is something that you have to do manually. If you want to use this tool, I would say yeah, go for it. But definitely do it manually. Turbo Intruder, it's for risk condition J2W scan. So it's a sort of good one, I'll say. So here's the J2W scan. It's a premium one. You can still install it. So the goal of this to improve the test coverage or web application for, like, technically it can use for finding new strategies for J2W vulnerability. So it might be helpful for multiple issues. Like if I just show you this link here, security scan Bubsuit plugin. So it can find a lot of JavaScript and all these vulnerabilities, but I will say you should preferably doing it by yourself. And now a lot of people would be, okay, we are not able to find issues like this, like in this format, like we are using scanner but not able to do that. So in my opinion, you are using the Bubsuit scanner in a very wrong way. Yes, I'm not just lying here, but you are definitely using Bubsuit scanner in a improper way. So technically, how you use the Bub scanner right now, just add a target into that, right? What you are going to do, just add to scope and then forward it to scans. Like personal favorite is Burp Suite 1.7x. You should use that. So add to scope and then you will just wait for the vulnerabilities in your scanner results here. But no, you don't do that here, right? If you want to get something really valuable from it, or you really want Burp Suite to do something for you, do it manually. That's the one thing. Just close all those things. Like you can just use the crawl, but not for all traffic. You can just filter it for only add to scope, or suite scope or custom scope. You can provide one. Look, we have usually heard that Bubsuite is everything that we need. So definitely you should only using the Bubsuite. So if I go to target, like randomly, let me choose my target from, maybe, I don't know what I want to choose. I will just go with this one web. So let me look for just PHP one web here. Here is my website, that is php.1web.com. Add to scope. Yes, I want to add to scope. Now I just want to take a look on the in scope things. So I will definitely change my settings here. You can just change your settings like this. What you want to see, the proxy settings, intruder, sequencer, the project settings are here, right? Advanced controls are always there. Now you're also having a lot of things like what REST APIs and all these things here. But technically, what you have to do is very simple. You don't give the SS scanner or the bub scanner, whatever you are using. You don't need to provide them something like this. Only do or only crawl for these things or that. You can do few things. You can crawl this, like here I'm having extensions. I can do active scan, passive scan, or smart scan. But no, I don't need to do that right now. Like here am I having the Bob Scanner Pro. But no, we don't need to do that technically. We can go to the target or the proxy. We can simply click on here extensions. So I'm having few extension that I would like to use. And as I said, you can use the spider in the Bub Suite itself. So let's look for spiders. We're having a lot of spider. Let's take a look on the spiders here. Let's refresh the list. We are having a lot of spidering tools here, or spidering things here. So let me take a look on that. You can use a subdomain extractor too, right? It can do a lot of things, like it can really help you in short. You can use the SSL thing here. SQL map is here, right? Definitely you can install it. That's a worth installing tool here. Even having ESP burp here. Yes, we have programs. You can just check them here. Cheat sheets are there. So there was a tool which is supposed to be do spidering for it. Hey, okay, we got the param spider here. We can spider the whole thing here, or mine for the parameters here. We can configure our APIs here for it. So let me take a look on our target here. We can use the extensions. I want to use parameters, or we can just do a lot of things like header poisons and all these things. But technically, we need the parameters here. Yes, everything. Now, what we need: use basic word list. Definitely use basic word list. Force bucket size, school, header names. Yeah, we need that. But technically, we are not using it right now. Then we got few more options. Take their parameters should be in the body or in the dummy are not supported here, right? Like it's showing us that we can add dummy to everyone, but we don't need that. Key paths are here, right? So we are using all these stuffs. Let's just click on go. I think we're having few issues. Okay, so it is trying to guess for all the parameters. We can also do few more things, which is passively scan. So we just did the passive scan here, but we don't need that. We'll just go to dashboard. Passive scan is done. Just remove this thing. Yes, remove this one. Remove all of them. We don't need this. Just do a simple thing. Copy the URL. Create a new scan. Just scrolling for a website. This one. Our website is HTTP, right? Yeah, it's HTTP. Now you can add few more things like advanced scope controls and all those things if you want to. But no, we don't need that right now. Scan configuration. So we can do few scan configurations to here. Like for my the older targets. For the older targets, I was having few of them here. Mm, I'm having some things here, which is the XSS one. Bycatch. Okay, I don't think it's here. Let me cancel it. You can create a new one here. So for crawl optimization, let me just name it spiders. Maximum length dip 10, or we can just give it like 8 or less, something like that. Crawl strategy would be more complete or most complete because we need the maximum out of it. Crawl limits, yeah, there is no limit. I'm just increasing it or decreasing it. I'm just leaving it predefined. So we want to register as a self user. Okay, we will do that. Handling application during crawls. Pause the task if 15 requests are going on. Come on. Good. For the efficiency, right? The timeouts and all those settings. No, we don't need that right now. Now, you can you give a customized user agent, but technically we are using our main device and it's a dummy website, so we don't need to do that. Read timeout for site resources. 15. Now save to library. Yes, we have saved the spiders. Even though you can just make it a resource pool, like you can make your own with the name of XSS and all those things if you're having one. Because in the previous ones, yeah, we do a lot of things like that. You can make your own crawlings and all those stuffs based on the vulnerabilities. You can here we are having few lot of options about that. So we are only using a crawl here. So I'm just doing okay here. And now it is just giving me a estimated time, but it will crawl in a better way. So let's wait for it to crawl and let's see what we get. Technically, we're only having this clear text submission of password. I don't think that's a that much vulnerability when it comes to hacker one. So we only need to see in scope items. Good. Now we are also having the param miner running out there. Yep. Now you guys can see it's working on it. But you can see no lava press equal task present sitemap will not be populated. Okay, alright, we don't need to do this. So in our dashboard, yeah, it is requesting a lot of things. Cool, it's working as expected. Now, you don't do multiple things out there. Usually we just give the whole target, but we need to share the endpoint to perform any types of scan. If I just go to do active scan, I can do it. But on the same end, here is the active scan. I will pause it, change the settings. I can change the whole settings, play with the settings, right? If I, as I'm having a lot of setting out there, we can import one if we're having one, but I don't know where the older ones are there, so I'm unable to find them. You can create new task, resource pools, still edit them. Now let me just play it. Still we are having few things. We found crossdomain.xml. Now, technically, cross-domain.xml is a significant information leak in many programs. I'm not saying the ITs are not that much high severity bug, but yeah, it can give you few bounties. I will show you free resources of about that. Now we need to find multiple things on that, right? It's not enough. So open scan launcher. We're having this particular request here. We can do active scans. Come on, that's cool. Scan configuration should be here. We want to do JavaScript analysis, yes. Audit project, come on, yes. Insertion points, good. What we want to like where we want to try to insert, we don't need to play with URL parameters. We only want the body parameters, not HTTP headers, entire body. Let's select the entire body. Ignored insertion points, what we want to ignore. Modifying parameter locations, no, we don't need to do that. Now we know what to do. That's why we are using M. Now again we are doing the body parameters only, the same as this one. What issues you want to look for? Select individual issues. We want to deselect all of these, right? We don't need any of them. Okay, I accidentally just got a screenshot. Anyway, you can just make this completely disappear. We don't need all of them. So let me just remove this. I don't need them. So I only want a single one, which is XSS, right? Because we know there is XSS on there. Just telling you how you can just find all these things. So we want the XSS only, right? We can even save our own configuration, but I have already made one, not able to look for it. So let me just clear all of this here. Now we have got half of them removed. Come on. There was a way to remove them. We usually use Bubsuit in a very wrong way that we just go for the whole scan and all these things. But Bubsuit is very good if you just Bubsuit scanner is very good if you just know how to use it properly, because you just need to specify what you want to look for, or like you just want to take a look on header or request all these things, because I have seen a lot of people don't configure this thing. And Bubsuit scanner is, you can say that yeah, it's not that much good, but when it comes to using it properly, it's way good, and it's really good. So let's look for cross-site scripting or just XSS. We just want it on the based of name. Cross-site scripting. Yeah, we want to try all the types of cross-site scripting. Come on. No, I just want to save this to library. Audit optimization should be okay. We just want it to be normal, nothing else. Let's save it. Auditing configuration one. Let's go with it. So I think we have found one. Let's take a look on the repeater. Now good, we got this one. When we send this, we got this response. We just render it. Come on, we don't need to render it. We just go for this. We need the fastest method out there. So we got this. So technically, what I wanted to domain is you need to understand how to use the scanner properly, what extensions you need to use properly. Now it was just a what do we say that? It is just a very basic one. Like we found the PHP files, just a basic one. But after all, when it comes to using it for specific purposes, like okay, I want to use this particular tool or request or Bob suite for a specific endpoint. You just try to look for endpoint pen testing, not for it. And if you're having any issues understanding anything, go with ChatGPT. I will also mention that video too for you, but definitely have a look on that. Now, after it, you know how to use Bob Suite properly. You know decoder, sequencer, comparer, collaborator. Now you need to use all these extension based on it. Like if suppose, let me just go to my extensions with collaborator everywhere, right? I can use collaborator everywhere or enable it easily, but you need to do that. Now, if I just go to Turbo Intruder, so insert Turbo Intruder is something that can works very fast. It can work very fast on based on multiple things. Turbo Intruder is something like it can send a request and request in a single second, and that can lead to race condition issues. So have a look on that. Then the highlights are here. We don't need them. You know all these options, right? Why we use them and all this stuff. So that was, I think, the basic things you need to know about the particular stuff. What do we say that? Burp suite. So it is still sending issues. 14 hours are remaining for the active scan, but it is worth it. Spidering is still going on, 34 locations scrolled. But sometimes I think the spidering is not good enough here. We just go to terminal tools. If I go to, I'm not having param spider here. The param spider. The URL should be in the hyphen D. Yep. So let me just give the target here. Copy URL, paste it. And now it can find a lot of things like 39 locations is still found. Now I don't know how much we found here. We found 39. So possibly we are not getting more than this. But yes, definitely have a look on all this shit. You will get a lot of endpoints. So after the Burp Suite, we have seen that yeah, we can do reconnaissance or that sort of things on the Burp Suite. Right now we know what to use for visual recons. You have seen the video. Now we are on the manual observation. So technically, I need to explain it to you how to do manual observation. Manual observation includes few things. You need to understand what is manual observation. So you can just simply go to that point. Yep. What to do in it? You need to observe few things there, and these are the most effective things there, right? the parent company or acquisitions. If you're having it, if you found any P1 or P2 or any bug that affects main domain, you can hunt on it, but just don't be someone who you can be in the visions, right? On the main affects main or in scope things. Next, you need to understand the flows. Like, look, spend time. I don't care. Like, if you're having recon going on, it is going to take around 12 hours, right? Do manual observations on the whole website. Just take a look, create a dummy account. I don't know if you use YOP mail, temp mail, whatever you want to use. Do a manual observation, because when you're manually looking for a website or looking on a website, you will get a user implementation, and also you will get an idea of how your user is going to use it or the company is operating it. So you will get the both visions, the company and the user. So if you get both of the observation, that's a very easy point to pen test on it. And on the first step, literal way, on the first step, I have told you, you have to make a checklist. So don't forget about it. Now, mineral observation is not just like this. You need to take a look on the information you got from it. Now, everyone knows about the Wayback URLs, archive.org. Have a look on them. That's cool. You can have a Wayback URL, Waymore, Param Spider, whatever you want to. But I will say, if you are having a very good observation on all these things, I need few details about that. Like, you can have a whole list that you have to grab. Like, I have made something here, which is like all these things. Like, you can see this thing, all step up have few additional things: token leaks, source code leak, backup leaks, API leaks, database leaks, third party leaks. All these things depends on Wayback. In maximum cases, yeah, you get all the Waybacks, you get all the crawling things, you get all the details you need about a target, right? Maybe it can be whatever you want to. Like in my case, if it's Red Bull, or if it's let's say, well, maybe NASA, whatever your company want to be. So whatever your company are having, you have done few things here. You need to really do few things here. Like, you can go for the way more. Like, I don't support way back this days, because it's very limited on that. You can use way more. You got all the spiders done. Then you need to just have a look, gather all error pages, error pages, and then we can go for a few more things, like, the part disclosures. Like we have seen in the Burp Suite that we got the search option, so you can just type your token here. If you just type your token there and found any website which is not the main website, you can find the token leaks. Now, way more spiders, get all the error pages, you can get the part disclosures all there, get all the fuzzing results, get all the brute forcing results, JS files there, right? You need to have all these details in a single folder, and then you can find all these things. Like, suppose you are having a grep feature, right? Grep. So use this particular checklist, because you can find a lot of data from it. You can find username. Like, this is the thing that I would use about it if I want to grab anything here. Now, as I said, I'll be mentioning one tool that can help you in everything. So let me show you that tool here. So here I am having a tool, Data Buddy here. So it creates a folder like this. It is not having anything obviously, but yeah, when it creates a folder, it is having a lot of data. Like, let me demonstrate the tool here. Like, let's go to terminal 100. Let's choose a target here, which is Wayback URLs. We are using this for demonstration, but that tool, I will give the version 3, which will do all these things by itself. You just need to give a target. So I'm using Wayback URLs with any target. Let's suppose a target which is let's think about a target. I'm not sure what target to put here. Let's just put video indexer.ai. So Yeah, we got the way back. If you are going to use way more, you will get a way more results. It just justifies its name. It uses its own database for it, but it will do multiple things. We don't know how much tool is going to take. So we are having the way folder here. The usage is simple. You just give the location to tool. My location is this. I'm using version 2, but I'll be providing version 3. So let's wait for it to finish. Okay, it's finished. Let's use the file we are having is way. So yeah, now it is asking for the next step, which is you want to run nuclear and JS files with the specified template. So if I just type yes, you will notice that we are having one some like 169 new things on here. But on the same end, we got templates like 462. Now these are the specified templates that are efficient to find some sort of tokens. Is it from some generic token? We don't need that right now, but it will found a lot of things on there. But as you guys can see that there is a step done here. It is not mentioned here. So if you just take a look here, there is a folder categorized URLs. So technically, this folder contains all the paths that are specified. Like I have specified more than 15 things to look for in the files and make the whole, make a whole list here. So you can just observe all the 15 files, whatever the files you are having, and it will find all the specific data it is having. It might be helpful for parameter finding, might be helpful for gathering all these types of data. To be honest, I have found a lot of information disclosure, good bounties from this tool by finding source code leaks, all these leaks. If it has found any sort of disclosed data, like let's say, what do we say that? If it has found any sort of data like zip files and all those files, it will also manually observe them. Like, let me go to targets here. I just use get we. So as you guys can see, I'm having few files here, and I can't open that obviously. But in this particular case, I have got few things which is not to mention, but yeah, 50,000 emails disclosed. So definitely have a look on. This tool is definitely going to help you. I like it is just going to do very basic things, but yeah, it is helpful. So I'm just automating all the process of finding all the leaks in them, but you should also have a manual observation on that. For the other tools, I'll be mentioning a readme.md, so definitely you can take a look on them manually because there is no sense explaining tools. You will explore them better, and there is not that much options. I have enabled everything already on, so you don't need to. So next step is manual observation. We are good with that. Now let's take a look on the other thing, which is behavioral analysis. So it contains a very simple definition. Understand the behavior of a website, how it is reacting to specific inputs, and this can help you in bypassing sanitizations. If you know how it is reacting to double tags, okay. If you're just entering a payload or putting a payload of XSS, it is filtering ON. Now you know how to bypass that, right? So you can just take a look on the behavior of the website and get multiple results. Understanding flow, we just know that. Web architecture based recon. So this is something called, how it is reacting to special endpoints. When you're just able to get the web architecture like it's on Shopify. So, or if it is based on Atlassian Jira. So you can take out all the Jira files, all the Jira reconnaissance. I've even mentioned my own notes that you can even drop the Jira URLs architecture. How this is working. If you know how to develop Jira, you know how what endpoints to check. The same end. If you know what's the architecture, what's the technology stack there, you can go for it. Correct way to use tools. So definitely that's an important thing. We all are using tools in the wrong way. As I showed for Bubsuite, everyone is going for scanner. No, we don't need to do that. You need to use scanner or all these tools in the best way. You need to use all the configurations available there. We might be using, tools on the parameters, but the body is vulnerable to something. So you need to just make the request on it. So definitely use tools on your own need. not on the basis of something you can just take a look on the YouTube. Every time if you are going to use a tool, use it on your allowance, how you need to use it according to your target and all these stuffs. Now, how to use information for finding bugs? Now, these three steps are very important. So, how to use information for finding bugs? As I've showed you, you can find a lot of vulnerable parameters, you can find a lot of disclosures, you can find a lot of internal files in the dorking, in the information leaks using Wayback and all those stuffs, and in the Bob suite. So, you can use these three things. Then next thing is how to hunt. So you can simply hunt on the based of parameters you got based on the data you got. In the Burpsuite, you have seen that you can get a lot of parameters, a lot of vulnerable endpoints, a lot of flow issues there. So you can use all this data, look for the potential endpoints that you know. You have read a lot of blogs, I believe. You have read a lot of notes, POCs, and all these things. I've been even mentioning like 5 GB of POC collection that I found on the internet. So you can definitely learn a lot of things out there for understanding the whole flow and how to hunt from parameters. Now, conclusion is everything is recon. From start till ending, you have to perform recon because when you're starting the thing, okay, you are good with the basic stuffs, but now you have to get the information. Now you have information, you got the parameters. You need to understand the sanitizations. After you're done with sanitization, you have to also do information gathering about how to escalate that particular sanitization. You escalated it, you reported that bug. Now you're again on the information gathering that finding something to exploit. After you found one more thing to exploit, test something, do it. It's a recursive process because reconnaissance is never going to end. And after all, this is for the course. I don't know how much time it was, but overall, that was for the course. I'm mentioning a WhatsApp group here. You can ask any question of recon. I will even mention a live hunting class on that, and it will be live on YouTube. So make sure you will be on that and see you guys in the upcoming video. Now, this was for the actual course. Now, thanks for supporting me. And this is all my social media profiles. You can connect on me, ask any questions. I'll be there to help you, or my team will be there to answer all your questions. If you want to schedule a call, want to learn something, just drop us a message on WhatsApp. That was for it. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day and keep hunting. Don't stop on it.